Hours away from the start of the National Football League season, and just incredible right now. Just absolutely incredible that we are this close. Thursday night football, Ravens jump in and play the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead. And then, of course, you have the Eagles who are taking off and underway as we speak to Brazil. It's absolutely insanity that the National Football League season is around and approaching, very close to really seeing all the prognosticating that we did and all the breakdowns that we did during the offseason. Rents too. By the way, as we always start out, big sales. Always got to do that. And we want to thank our friends at BetUS for powering the 4 hours of the Big Sills National Football Show. We so appreciate you guys. Please hit the like button. We've got some breaking news. I had a chance to talk to some folks that are inside the Eagles. And I think some of you know who I'm very close to. And this Devin White story, this is the same stuff that went on with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and his inability to be able to handle his emotions. Devin White was informed on Tuesday that he would not be starting in the game on Friday versus the Packers. And once he was told that, the guy blew a gasket. Very, very disappointed. Very unhappy. That ankle injury, I don't believe it. I think it's an excuse. There were even murmurs and rumors that the Eagles prior to cutdown day were trying to trade Devin White. So, they were trying to move off from him. Nakobe Dean beat him out. Kudos to Dean. It's the first thing that Nakobe Dean has actually accomplished as a Philadelphia Eagle, was truly winning and not being handed a starting linebacker position. Kudos to him. Kudos to him. He won the starting job fairly. He outplayed Devin White. So Devin White pulled a Buccaneer on you. I don't believe this ankle injury. I just do not. I don't believe it. I think they came up with an excuse because of his behavior. They were trying to move him. They were trying to move Devin White. Okay? They were trying to trade him. Once again, there were no takers for Devin White. Now, I'm not here right now, here on a Wednesday, sitting here negotiating with you whether or not Nakobe Dean is a good player or not. We all know where my position is on that. My position with you now is that Devin White was never going to be an impact player on this football team. And the Eagles, they realized it in camp. He was one-dimensional. He could rush the passer. That's it. By the way, I think this guy's problems are not anything with his ability. What a freaking shame that you look at Devin White and you see all that ability, and the thing that is stopping him the most is his brain and his heart. This guy just does not get it. Dude, you let an opportunity slip through your fingers in Tampa. You were a $100 million guy when you're trying to negotiate, and now you're in a position where, get this, you were beat out. By the way, I just saw what this guy, stupid-ass BJ, said. Gossip Hour. Here's exactly what happened. He was beaten out by Nakobe Dean. He blew a gasket. They came up with an ankle injury. He's not on the airplane. He's not on the airplane. How you doing? And guess what that means? It's fact. It's fact. And they were trying to trade him. prior to cutdown day. That's not gossip. That's fact. How you doing? And by the way, he was beaten out. He was never going to start him. He was informed on Tuesday that Nakobe had beaten him out. That's a fact also. That's not gossip. Fact that he had beaten him out. And by the way, John McMullen, our very own John McMullen, even said that he was the best linebacker in camp. He was never going to beat him out. Never going to beat him out. Okay? Never. Now he's not on the airplane. Devin White, where all of you guys were saying all pro season, his days in Philly are numbered. They're numbered. They were trying to trade him. Do you know where they were trying to trade him? They were trading him and trying to trade him to the Bengals, to the Bills, to the Jets. They were trying to move him. Some acquisition. Okay? Some acquisition. By the way, Jeff McClain also just a couple minutes ago validated pretty much what I've been saying all morning long. So I guess Jeff McClain is gossip hour also in the Philadelphia Inquirer. How you doing? We were reporting it earlier in the morning on what happened. And McClain also now printed it out and posted it also. How you doing? He was not injured. I don't believe it. How you doing? You're welcome. Hit the like button. Wow. What a disaster. Hey, so you got that. You got these other guys bitching and crying about going to Brazil and playing. You got a football game to play on Friday. By the way, also, at the end of the day, now you have what's his name coming back and apologizing for his bullshit and saying how sorry he was, that he didn't mean to offend anybody. Who gives a shit about the Brazilian people? I don't care. Do you actually think Americans give a shit about another country? That's only politicians that care. I don't give a shit about another country. I care about the U.S. of A. I care about the homeless and the veterans in our country. I don't give a shit about anybody else from another country on whether your feelings are hurt, that maybe a player in Philadelphia might have said something about your crime rate. Why would you apologize? I don't care about that. I care about playing the Packers. I care about the Green Bay Packers. Okay? Playing a football game. I'm not a statesman. I'm a cornerback for the Eagles. Dude, you don't have to apologize. You should be apologizing to your team for making excuses up on wanting to go and make a scene for yourself saying that you didn't want to go. Okay? How about that? This guy down here goes like this. Dan definitely cares about Trump. I don't give a shit about political angles on this program. I don't care. I'm not here to tell you who to vote for. You make your own mind. Don't fuck with me on my political beliefs, though. I'm not going that far for you to feel good about yourself and how you want me to think. That's not going to happen. That's why I don't tell you who to vote for, who to like, or what have you. I don't do that. That's not my job here. My job is to get ready for the game on Friday, and so it is for Darius Slay. This is bullshit stuff. You got more noise going around the Eagles now, heading into a football game, and then you hear the Packers, there's no noise. There's absolutely no noise. Do me a favor. Please hit the like button. We appreciate you guys very much. Okay? By the way, I am working on Laura Loomer coming on the program. We've been communicating back and forth about that obnoxious story about that person that works for the Eagles. Explain this to me. How can those ads being put up around Philadelphia be counterfeit or forgeries or what have you when the guy works in the organization? How can that be? Well, we're going to try to find out and get to the heart of it. I still say a little prayer for me, big guy. I'm at the airport now on my third beer waiting for a flight to Brazil, going to watch football game in a football country. Go Birds. Eduardo, good luck to you, man. Good luck to you and have a fun time, dude. Hey, by the way, Eduardo, can you do us one massive favor? Can you go over and keep us updated and give us some intel of what's going on and take some videos for us when you're down in Brazil? And Eduardo, do me a favor. Send them to @Dan Sileo Show. And if you have a Twitter, what we'll do is we'll follow you and we'll post all that stuff and we'll have Big Sills. The Big Sills Army is going to be in Brazil. We were in Gainesville this last week. We had Big Sills Army in Brazil, in Gainesville. Eduardo, if you could do that for us, I'd really appreciate that, man. How about that, dog? Absolutely sensational that you would do that for us if you can. Awesome stuff. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Prince is right. Hey, Sills, I'm not sure he can. X is being banned in Brazil. What up, Chip? Appreciate you coming aboard. Please hit the like button. Okay, look at that, Bruce. Absolutely, man. I love it, man. You guys are great. And by the way, here's one of the absolute greatness ones of all time from the very beginning. NJ Fishing Maniac, one of the absolute great Big Sills guys. Love it. Okay? Absolutely sensational. Look at this, man. Another one. Dez the Jew. I can't go to Brazil, but I'll be at the Tampa game in New Orleans. Way to go, Dez. Way to go, Dez the Jew. I love you, man. You're one of my favorites. Hey, Devin White season. All night not. All white not. How you doing? Oh, man. Hey, this is going to be a fun show today. By the way, Philly 500 is going to join us at 4:30. Thank you, Corey. Sills, you got to get Mario Cristobal back on the show sometimes. Hey, man, we had him on last week, Brian. We had him on last week. Chip, Sileo's fired up for football. How about FSU shit in the bed, 0-2? How you doing? How you doing? Yeah. Hey, that's why I'm in a good mood. The Gators are 0-1, got their faces pushed in, and the Noles are 0-2. How could I not be? And by the way, the Packers are going to put 45 on you. I mean, that doesn't make me happy because people will be very upset. And me and Angelo are going to have to be like psychiatrists come Monday. I hate to tell you this, guys. Sills, you recall a few years back being raided on Twitch? Yes! And your daughter had to explain what a raid was following your shows. Yes! Hey, Windy City. Windy City reminds me of a moment. So get this. Hey, Windy, who was the Charger running back? It was Austin Eckler, I think. It was Eckler. And Eckler raided my Twitch channel. And there were like 20,000 fans. And I was getting raided. Of course, I have no idea what that is. And all of a sudden, all these guys are on going, this numbnuts doesn't know what being raided is. And I'm going like, no, I have no idea what it is. And hey, Wendy was there for this whole thing. My daughter goes, Dad, that guy was trying to blow your Twitch page up. He's a starting running back. He goes, my friends were, this is what my daughter said. Abe, get this. My daughter goes, Dad, My friends were calling me and saying what an idiot you are because you didn't know that was a good thing. And I'm like, I didn't know being rated. I mean, the last time I heard rated, it was Trump's Mar-a-Lago. I didn't think that was good. So how would I think this was good? And so I was like, I don't know, being rated. And so I blocked it. And Austin Eckler called my show the next day and goes, dude, what are you doing? And the Chargers go, the Chargers follow me on Twitter. They were like, dude, he was trying to help you. Oh. Hey, don't ever say it. I never said I'm the smartest clam in the ocean. Okay? Oh, hey, thanks, JM. I'm sorry. I'll get my decoder ring out for being an internet weirdo like some of you guys are. Excuse me. Oh, look at this. Holy cow. Senor wants a good laugh. He wants a good laugh. Sills does a shirtless Monday show if the Packers cannot get 45 points. You don't really want to see that, dude. I posted a picture of Big Sills when he was at the Fountain Blue when I was in my 20s. You should have seen 285 pounds, 11% body fat, ripped. It looked like a skillet. I mean, you see those abs? 285 pounds. Holy shit, man. I hate that guy. That guy, I don't know what happened to that. That's the guy my wife married. I have no idea what happened to that guy. My daughter goes, you look like that? Holy cow. What happened to that guy? I go, I hate him. Carved out of a steak was Big Sills. All right, enough of that. Hey, Devin White season. Devin White season. What happened to Devin White season? Holy shit. He couldn't even get on the airplane. This guy didn't even make the bus. What happened? Big Sills been telling you the whole time. This guy might not make the team. They were trying to trade him. And you guys are telling me Devin White's going to be a star. Oh, no, what happened? He's injured. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no. Hey, let me tell you what's injured, Denny. His hymen. That's what's injured. Okay? This guy's injured. Oh, yeah. Hey, once he was told he wasn't starting, he got injured all of a sudden. He pulled the same shit on the Bucks. Yeah, okay, he's injured. Yeah, okay, sure. Oh, look at Twiz, man. He's still going to go down with the ship. You see right here? Twiz is like Captain Smith of the Titanic. He's just going to close himself in the captain's bridge, shut the door, and go down with the ship. See you later, Captain. I'm jumping on that thing with Rose, and if she gets mouthy with me, I'm pushing her in the ocean. And I'm going to tell you this. If I saw that, I would be like, hey, Rose, man, not sure you're making it. Hey, I'd be pushing that off, okay? How you doing? Sorry, man. I'm not going down with pride. It's not happening. How you doing? White has a weak mind. Princess Aeon, man. Absolutely. Get this. You know what really sucks? Most of you guys are right about his ability, is that the kid is a good football player. But what really is sad is that he can't understand being mentally tough. He's not mentally tough. He's just not. Nakobe Dean sees, oh my God. Now you have to put all your hopes on Nakobe Dean. Oh, God. 45 points on Friday. Looks even better now. Looks even better. So you got Zach Bond and Nakobe Dean as your linebackers against Jordan Love on Friday? Really? Nakobe Dean is going to eat all 218 plays of his since he's been an Eagle. Hey, Flex and go, this guy's going to get cooked. Woo! Man, hit the like button. Yeah, that's what we're reporting here on the Big Sills National Football Show. White was informed on Tuesday that he would not be starting. And all of a sudden, they came up with a injury. Hey, and get this. So let me get this right. He's injured now, right? Well, prior to cutdown day, the Eagles were trying to trade him. When did he get hurt? They didn't play last week. Oh, he got hurt in practice? Of course he did. Okay? Hey, he got hurt in practice? They didn't play last week. When did he get hurt exactly? He got his feelings hurt on Tuesday when he was told he wasn't starting. Hey, Twiz, it's not conspiracy. He was told he was not starting. I have the depth chart. I saw the depth chart. I had the depth chart forwarded to me. Hey, you guys there's another surprise. There's another surprise. I see Xander's listening too. Hey, you want to hear another one? I think Kelee Ringo's starting at corner. I think he's starting at corner over Isaiah Rodgers. I think he's starting. I think they got Kelee Ringo at corner. Corner 2. I think he's starting. No, Quentin Mitchell's not starting. He's in the slot. He's not starting at corner. I think Kelee Ringo is going to get to start at cornerback 2 at come Friday. Where the Devin White loyalist at? Okay? So I got a heads up that Kelee Ringo may be starting on Friday. Okay? I mean, I don't know, man. I said, really? What happened to Isaiah? He goes, well, Vic's going back and forth on it. I said, why isn't Quentin Mitchell? He goes, they're going to play him out there too, but he's going to play. Get this. Quentin Mitchell's going to play the most reps of any DB this coming Friday. He's going to play a ton. He's going to play some corner, and he's going to play slot. I mean, he's probably going to get the most reps on Friday. So don't look at it like, well, he's not that. No, he's going to play the most, I think. I was kind of shocked because I had been saying the whole time that Isaiah Rodgers was going to be the starting corner on CB2. It looks like Kelee Ringo is going to be the cornerback number 2 starting. So you got some changes in your defense. You got Ringo at cornerback 2. I think it is. And now you have Nakobe and Zach Bond starting at your linebacker positions. So, hey, Xander, this team is for sure 7-9 wins, max. Hey, I think you're with me, flexing. I think you got another game to add on. You and me are still in the 16-game schedule. That'd be 8-9 or either 7-10. Let's go, Birds. Look at this, 14-3. How you doing? Where's that guy? There he is. Xander popping in, 14-3 with Nakobe Dean as your Mike backer. Woo! How you doing? Hey, that's how you do it right there. All right. Wow, is this going to be a fun day? Philly 500 will join us at 4:30 Eastern time. Holy cow. The greatness of Nakobe Dean. That's who. Hey, what if Dean goes down? Who are you putting in there? Van Helsing? Who's the next guy up at line? But you're pretty thin there. Who's the next guy up for the Eagles if Nakobe goes down, which he will? Who's the guy? Van Helsing? Trotter. Trotter's going to play against Jordan Love. Really? Uh-oh. Okay. Trotter or Van Helsing? All right. Let me get into the topics here. Jesus criminy. How about Big Sills in the National Football Show giving you some new news? I believe Kelee Ringo, he's right now on the depth chart as CB2. Cornerback 2 is Kelee Ringo. Okay? I thought it was going to be Isaiah Rodgers. And Devin White was demoted because Nakobe beat him out. Now, was that Howie? Was that Howie? Uh-huh. Right? Look at this dumbass. We haven't had a losing season since this guy's covered the team. You lost every year, dude. Unless you win the Super Bowl, it's a losing season in Philly, I thought. Or wait a minute. You count ceremonial trophies, right? Like bronze medals and silver medals now in Philly. Oh, I see. I thought you kind of like, we're a championship city. But you celebrate bronzes and participation medals now, I see. Oh, Angelo's right. You're all soft. What the hell happened to the city I grew up with? Listening to that sports station, you could hear it. It was a beacon of sports talk from Philadelphia all the way up to Bangor, Maine. What happened to that team? What happened to those people who used to call in and go, that blows? Huh? What happened? Participation medals and bronze and silvers. Congratulations to you. How you doing? Shit, look at this guy here. My friend James Jones. You think Washington Redskin fans? Dude, I don't give a shit about winning the NFC East. You know what they care about? Care about putting another Lombardi trophy in that showcase. By the way, James, go back to Redskins. You've lost your identity. Until you change that name, Commanders, please. It's a fraudulent team. It's a fraudulent team. You've lost your identity. How you doing? How you doing? All about titles. All right. Let's get to the topics. I know most of you won't be able to handle this, or most of you guys won't be able to probably understand it. The greatness of Nakobe Dean is here. That's Xander, baby. Woo! He's all in. Nakobe Dick Butkus, Ray Lewis Dean. He's playing on Friday for the Eagles. Here's my prediction on, here's my prediction on Tissue Paper Dean. He won't make it to the second quarter. He'll come up with, I don't know, whatever, pick an injury. I hurt my diaphragm. I don't know. Oh, my God. Dude, Nakobe Dean, you're leaning on to stop Jordan Love. All right. So let's do this going into the 2024 season. Let me give you an easy one. Who's got the quarterback advantage going into this game on Friday, in your opinion? Who's got the QB advantage? Who's got the QB advantage? We do. Both. Eagles, Packers, Hurts. Push. Eagles, toss up. Holy cow. Is that Slagger actually sounding like he has some brains? Huh. Look at that. People shock him. Eugene Packers. Eagles by a hair. That's not awful. Packers. Hey, you know what? That's pretty good. That's pretty good stuff. So we're going to take what guys are right now because, like you guys tell me, 2023, can't keep going back to that, can you? Because, or just like you can't go back to 22. But here's the two guys heading into this year. Last year, Hurts threw the ball almost 540 times. Jordan Love, 580. Not bad. Same thing. Completions, right around the same. 372 for Love and 352 for Hurts. Yards, 4159 for Love in his first year starting. 3858 for Hurts. Here's the big one. I didn't realize Jordan Love threw for 32 touchdowns. Hurts 23. That's kind of where he hangs. Interceptions, 11. Hurts had 15. And here's the records. Last year, Jordan Love, counting the playoffs, was 10-9. Jalen Hurts was 11-8. So, I mean, the only thing that's different is that Love's a better passer. Okay? I mean, he's a better passer. Now, if Hurts was going to be more of a guy who was going to win games with his legs, I'd say the advantage goes to Jalen. That's not what they're after here. So if we're going to go by passing, which the Eagles are, the Packers have the advantage. Now, again, if you were going to tell me that Jalen was going to look more like 22, I'd be like, well, I think he has the advantage because Jalen wins ball games also with his legs. But he's not going to win games with his legs now. That's not who he is. Okay? So for me, the advantage goes to the Packers and Jordan Love as a passer. I think anybody with any kind of brains would say that. Still, nobody on this Green Bay team has ever played with the expectations that they carry this year. They could be the advantage for Philly. That weight can be heavy. We actually have a topic to that. Now, again, by the way, one more time here. I think the Packers have the advantage in quarterback position, but I don't think it's a massive advantage. Okay? I mean, like this. Hey, Sills, I'm taking Love. You get Hurts. That wouldn't upset me that much. I'd be like, okay, Love's better, but Jalen's on a better offense. All right. Okay. Because they're going to need him to play A+ football. By the way, do you know that guy, if I'm not mistaken, someone correct me or not, that guy has signed the most outside of Deshaun Watson guaranteed money of any quarterback in NFL history. Is that right? It was like the most guaranteed money Green Bay gave him, and that was after 8 games? That's a lot of change, man. For somebody that you think is the guy, I think he's the guy too. I think without a doubt. I think they've done a nice job with him. But boy, okay, that's a lot. Seals, Packers are going to be on the outside looking in this year. Bears and Lions will be 1 and 2. It's a pretty tough division. You're right. As a matter of fact, I would say this. 85, I would say that the NFC North is better than the NFC East. So it's a pretty tough division. And like you said, too, I don't know what Minnesota's even going to look like. I mean, look, do I believe Sam Darnold's the guy? Absolutely not. That's why they drafted a quarterback. And by the way, flexing, I like Love, but I don't like him that much over Hurts. That's the funny thing about, get this, and I've said this before to you guys, I think the difference between 1 and 2 in the NFL now, between Mahomes and whoever you think is second, I think is so large. It's larger than when even Brady was in the league. Between Brady and Manning and Rodgers and all those guys, I think that was closer. I don't think it's close now. I think it's a further gap between 1 and 2 and between 2 and 3. I think 2 and 3 are close. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think you could kind of throw their names in a hat and come up with your own order. How do you come up with your own order? But there's no doubt. There's no doubt that guy's the best player. Dude, people thought Peyton Manning was better than Tom Brady for decades in the NFL. I do not believe Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback at all. I think, how about this? Just to your point, Reg, I'll say this. Hurts has top 5 moments. You don't really believe Jalen Hurts looked like a top 5 quarterback for 2023, do you? You don't really. I mean, he wasn't top 5 quarterback in 2023. 3,800 yards, 23 touchdowns. I mean, all those rushing touchdowns meant nothing. Okay, and I'm not top 10. You could probably go 11 or 12, whatever you want to think. He could be down there somewhere. He could be somewhere down there. Yeah, but see, here's the one thing, Bob. Hurts has better all-around skills, but they're not going to have him use all-around skills, Bob. But Love being in the system a couple of years with the same head coach and OC, play caller, gives him the edge. That will hurt Love. What will hurt Love is he tries to do too much, correct? But Bob, you got to remember something. Again, Jalen Hurts is not an all-around skilled player any longer because that's not what they're after. They're not after that. Okay? Oh, wait, here, look at this. Why don't you count rushing touchdowns? Aren't they points too? Didn't matter last year. By the way, running quarterbacks don't win Super Bowls. Guys with those numbers, 715 touchdowns. Name me a guy that's ever won a Super Bowl with those numbers. None, ever. Like, ever. Steve Young is the most touchdown winning quarterback in NFL history with 6. And I think he had 400 yards rushing. And he led the NFL in completion percentage. Young was more of the complete player than anybody. Like, Jalen Hurts, not even remotely close to that. The guy led the NFL in passing percentage, passing yards, completions, and he had 6 rushing TDs. Okay, I mean, Young was a weapon and ran a 4.4. Okay, and ran a 4.4. Russell Wilson never won a Super Bowl by more than 6 touchdowns in a season. He wasn't a guy that was going to be that team was led by Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn Lynch. The year they won the Super Bowl, I think he had 4 rushing touchdowns. Everyone goes like this, Mahomes is a dual threat. No, he's not. Mahomes pulled out dual threat and RPO in the Super Bowl when he needed it. Again, let's move on from that because I don't want to stay in the mud with that bullshit. Okay? I don't. It's just not going to debate that. Once again, you have a style that you think will one day win. I have a style that does win. That's the difference between me and you. The difference between you and me is I have a style that wins Super Bowls. You don't. You don't. Okay? You don't. All right. We're going to look at the Eagle defense versus the Packers offense here in a second. Let's put this question out there to you. How much pressure is on Jalen Hurts to get out of the gate in 2024 with a strong start? How important is it for him to look good on Friday? He don't look good on Friday. I mean, and by the way, I'm not saying he's not. I'm asking, how important? Listen, I'm not predicting he is. I'm asking a question here. How important is it for him to start fast in 24, Jalen Hurts? And look like you see some difference in him. How important is that? Coming off of what happened a year ago. How important? Because I'll tell you what, if he comes out and he plays great on Friday, there's only one guy going to get heat. That's going to be Nick Sirianni. Okay? You see, here's something that you have to understand about Friday's game. Nick Sirianni loses either way. There's nothing Nick Sirianni can do on Friday to win. Because if Jalen Hurts throws for 390 yards and 3 touchdowns and rushes for another 2, and they win 38-20, they're going to look at Nick and go, well, he was the cancer of a year ago, and it's now confirmed. And if he wins, it's going to be all Kellen Moore. But if he loses, they're going to go like this. Nick's the cancer is still in the body. It's really kind of rough being Nick Sirianni right now. There's no way he can win. If they win, Kellen gets the credit. If they lose, he gets the blame. Now, some would say, is that part of being a head coach in the NFL? I say no. That's part of being the head coach in Philly, because that's the way the organization designed it. But there's only one person who should be doing that shit. That's the starting quarterback. They've taken responsibility away from Hurts when it comes to failure and it comes to success. He gets all the success when the team wins. But when the team loses, everyone around him pays the price. Brian Johnson, Nick. That's how the organization has set it up. I'm not blaming Nick. I'm blaming Howie and Jeff and how they set it up. Have you ever seen a head coach go into a game where no matter what he does, he'll get the blame for it? Even if they win. This is Doug Peterson almost like all over again. This is, really, it's kind of, no matter what, hey, personally, do I think Hurts has to start strong? I totally do. Because if that guy looks like he can't handle blitzes and they're struggling, moving the chain, and here's something else. What's the one thing that you're looking for? Hey, let me ask you this. What is the one thing you're looking for from Jalen Hurts on Friday versus the Packers? What's the one thing you're looking for and wanting to see? What's the one thing you want to see? Carmine says reading defense. We're kind of there. Picking up blitz, I think that's important. JM with checkdowns. Twiz with ball control. Picking up blitzes, Brian. See what Frankie says. Frankie hasn't posted something up here. Frankie, that will not be the case this year. If Hurts plays average, he will get crushed by the media and fans. I like Hurts, but the money he's getting paid and the weapons he has, he's got to produce. Amen. Audibles. I like that. I think right here, hey, Coastal Kid, I think that's the key on offense. It's no turnovers. Protecting the football on Friday is going to be essential. Here's Brian, you're not. Brian and I are kind of like trying to hit their hot routes are good too. I like that too, Chris. Okay, reading defenses, Abe. There it is. There it is. There it is. I want to see if Jalen Hurts can spread the football around to everybody. I want to see Goddard with catches. I want to see if Dotson plays, I want to see catches from him. I want to see Barkley with check down catches. Obviously, the front two are going to get the majority of the work, but I want to see if he can spread the ball around. It's one thing to sit here and talk about it. It's another thing for him to do it. I want to see if he can do it. He's never done it in 3 years. Jalen has proven that he can win in this league. Yes. Jimmy Garoppolo proved that, though, didn't he? Last year, he carried the worst defense in the league, but as far as I'm concerned, the entire team quit, including him. Including him. Okay? He's got to spread the football around. He does. Let's see what Forrest says. Looking forward most to how the running backs will be used. Shipley, too. Shipley, too, Forrest. Play Barkley. You pay Barkley that you better get everything out of him. Absolutely. Okay? Let's see here. It's up to BS, Sills. Half of Hurts is eyeing. Shut up. Half of Hurts. The dissecting failure is not acceptable here. Dissecting failure is an idiotic take. You're the quarterback. You're paid $50. No matter what it is, it's on your ass. I don't give a shit. Half the interceptions. Really? How about the game that he played against, what's his name, in Tampa? Baker Mayfield. He sucked in that game. Oh, it's coordinator, right? Keep dissecting, kid. He spread the ball around many times last year. How quickly we forget in the Miami game. Wasn't consistent, though. He spread the ball around when the entire third wide receiver core had 36 catches the entire 17 games. How do you say that they spread it around when number 3 wide receiver combined with all the players that played in that position only had 36 catches? How many catches last year did DeAndre Swift had? Very few. Spreading it around to who? Still, Jimmy G and Golf played terrible in the Super Bowl. Hey, Jared Goff has been to 2 conference title games, and so has Jimmy G. Give me a break. He's 40 in San Francisco. He's 41-17. 27-20 birds. Danelle says. Thanks, Danelle. Appreciate it. Des, thanks for the super chat. I appreciate that, dog. Really. Thank you. Golf is carried to those games. Oh, my God. Yeah, so you gave a guy that a team carried $53 million annually to. How dumb can you get? Hey, the entire team carried him. And he carried Golf the Lions, so here's $53 million annually. Yeah, okay, sure. That's smart economic sense. Why don't you just go get another quarterback, pay him lesser? If the quarterback sucks so bad, why'd you give him a raise? If the quarterback sucks so bad and the team carried him, why'd you give him a freaking raise? Remember something. Jared Goff signed the highest contract in NFL history, and then it was Wentz. And now he signed the second highest, richest contract in NFL history. I don't know about you, but he's doing something right. You don't pay people that kind of money because they're not achieving shit. What do you think? They're the Jets? Still, it's strange to say it, but we actually need Hurts to come out and look like Love did last year. I don't think that's strange at all because that's what they're wanting him to do. Okay. And you could also say the Giants. The Giants regretted paying Daniel Jones the moment they signed the contract. Daniel Jones got paid. Daniel Jones doesn't win like Jared Goff does. Jared Goff has been to 1 Super Bowl and 2 conference title games. Daniel Jones beat the Vikings. Jesus criminy, that guy's thrown for 4,500 yards 6 years. Holy cow. At least he wins and gets you into important games. Does Jared Goff. See, the problem that you have in Philly with Hurts, his career will always be the projection that it's on now. You know why? Because of your coordinators and the way you do business. It'll be up and down every year he plays in Philly, just like it was for Carson Wentz. No more excuses for Jalen with all the talent around him. And go Canes. Thank you, Laura. Appreciate that. Going to be undefeated in the ACC. Absolutely, man. I love that, and I think they're going to play great, and I think they look great. I know they got FAMU this weekend. Absolutely love that program too, by the way. Big fan. They follow me on Twitter, FAMU. But I think the ACC is there to be had. McNabb said Hurts needs to spread the football last year. So did Keith Byers, who came on the program. Got killed for saying that about Hurts. Imagine that, G-Fish. Guy said the right thing, spreading the football around, and he got killed for it. Because you know why? No one wants to hear the truth in Philly. Those Philly fans, some of the Philly fans, man, not all. Most of the Philly fans don't want to hear the truth. You got to spread the ball around, dude. Keith Byers said they didn't play championship football from Thanksgiving on, and he got killed for it. I mean, These are players that played for your own team and they got killed. You know what? Cosmo says, Sills, I want to see Goddard healthy. A healthy Goddard means a healthy offense. Means a healthy offense. Goff is a bit higher level than Cousins, which is very, very good. But when he goes head-to-head in a Super Bowl versus Mahomes, Burrow, and Allen, he will lose. If I'm proven wrong, I'll be stunned. CW, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Goff go into Kansas City last year and do the same thing that Hurts did? Opener too, right? Be ready because excuses are coming. Okay? Be ready because excuses are coming. Let's see here. That's right. You know, this is a great one, Flex. And who cares about a Super Bowl appearance if you don't win it? That's why I say showing up to the exam and not passing the exam is not the same, is it? Okay? Correct. Flacco's better than Goff. I don't believe that. Again, if Jared Goff wins the Super Bowl, he's going to the Hall of Fame. 3 conference titles, games, 2 conference championship wins and a Super Bowl win, and 50,000 passing yards. He's going to the Hall of Fame. He'll go to the Hall of Fame. It's about building his resume now. He's building the passing numbers up. He's totally get this. Jared Goff, when everything is said and done, Hurts will probably be about 18,000 yards shy of what that guy will end up with his career. And if he puts a Super Bowl on top of it, I mean, the conversation is more in the point where you're looking at a 50,000-yard passer, and you could even make the argument that he's kind of like more like Eli Manning. And by the way, I'm not a Jared Goff dude, which is even more insane. I'm not a Jared Goff guy. Crazy. Goff is good. I'm not. Would I build my team around Jared Goff? No. It's, I don't know. He's awful successful. He wins a ton of games, and with the right coaching, he's a good football player. I mean, you're not going to be sad if you're going to win 7 out of every 10 games with him if he's your quarterback. That's pretty much what you're going to get with Jalen. Jalen's going to win you 7 out of 10. That's a great number. Josh Allen wins you 7 out of 10. It's the guys who get that one last 10%, 20%, 30% that get into the playoffs and win that Super Bowl. Sills, Dak or Goff. I'll take Goff over Dak any day. He's done more. He's gone further. He's been more consistent. As you want to hear something crazy? As Goff's career goes on more, he's showing you more consistency and actually getting better where Dak's getting worse. Dak gets worse. And Dak led the NFL in TD passes last year. Goff had a better year, though. Threw for a ton of yards, a ton of touchdowns, and carried his team to an NFC championship game. I mean, I don't know what else to say about the kid. I mean, superstar running back? No, they have a good collection of them. Superstar wide receiver? I guess St. Brown's great. They gave him the money. I guess. Right? Who's the underdog in Friday's game, Sills? The Packers are. That's right. Reality check is Friday. Reality check is Friday. If Goff has gone further than Dak in the playoffs by far. By far. 3,500 what? Or 35,000 what? I think Jared Goff's going to throw for 50,000 yards when his career is over. Where is he at now? I don't know. I don't know where Jared Goff is at. He's thrown for a shitload of 4,000-yard passing seasons. I have no idea where he's at. He's at you got 15,000 more, and that guy's 28. Shit, he's going to get to 55,000 yards passing. He's going to end up probably his career in the top 12, 13 passers of all time. in passing yards. I mean, he's only 29. Dude, he's going to throw for 50, 60,000 yards. In today's NFL, where you can't hit these guys, do. I mean, he's at 30,000 now, Frankie. He's at 30,000 and he's 29. He's going to throw for that guy's going to throw for near 60,000 yards. He's going to throw for nearly 60,000 yards. I mean, and if he wins, like I said, a Super Bowl, he's going to go to the Hall of Fame. Depends on if they keep doing it right in Detroit. Hey, by the way, what is the one thing that Jared Goff has had over Jalen Hurts? Tell me. You guys know it already. It's not really a brain twister here. Okay, it's not really a brain twister, but what has Jared Goff had over Jalen Hurts in his career outside of the first year with that idiot Jeff Fisher? What's the one thing he's had that Jared Goff has done? Well, Joseph, I don't remember Matt Ryan going to 2 conference title games. I don't remember that. That's right, Nick. That's right, Wendy. He's had really good coaching. Crowley's right, too. This guy had Sean McVay. Now he's got that Johnson kid up there in Detroit. That Johnson guy is being touted as the next NFL head coach. He was offered the Washington job and turned it down. Gifted 5 JAKIB Sports memberships. Jason, thank you. Please, guys, hit the like button. I appreciate it. By the way, one more time, I want to make this very clear. Very clear. Okay? When I say the advantage on Friday at quarterback goes to the Eagles, goes to the Packers, we're talking like this. I'm not talking like massive leaps. I think that guy spreads the ball around better. We're going to look at it more here. And we're going to look at how the Eagles defense has got to try to stop Jordan Love here. We're going to do that at the top of the hour here. But I do think that Jalen's got to get out to a strong start the first month of the season. September has to be, I think, a good month for him. Seals, what do you think we need to do to win this game? You think Hurts will throw for over 260 yards? They're going to have to. Let me ask you this. And thank you for the super chat, my friend. Do you believe Saquon Barkley is going to carry the ball 25 times in this game? I don't. I don't believe that. Okay? So when you say over 260 yards, no, Mr. International, I don't believe they're going to feed Barkley. I think Barkley's going to be more in pass protection, and I think checkdowns. That's where his impact's going to be on Friday. Okay? I think they're going to be on Friday. So, no. I'm not talking touches, John. I'm talking carries. 20 carries seems like an awful lot. So that means this. Jalen's going to throw. The normal plays that an NFL team has in a game is about 65 plays. Okay? How are you going to shuffle that out? I think if we're good, it will be overreacting either way good. Super Bowl talk, bad, fire everyone. Absolutely. Jason, you're right. Okay, guys, 65 plays in this game. Give me the passes versus the runs and how you see that being sliced up. Hey, Twiz. Slice this up for me, Twiz. Twiz, what do you think? 65 plays. How many passes and how many runs do you think the Eagles are going to go? 45 passes, you lose that game. Because you're taking Hurts' ability to be a scrambler away. 15 runs, so you're going to run for less than 100 yards. You're not going to win that game. 45 passes, you'll lose big time. That's not balance. That's not what balance is going to do to beat that team. 45? This sounds more right. That's how they win. But they're not going to run the ball 30 times. They're not going to run it. That 30 has Hurts in there. Twiz, right? That 30 has carries from Jalen. Not just from Barkley and Gainwell and Shipley, right? That 30 is going to have Hurts in there. When you and see this, check this out. Daniel says 40 to 70. 70 plays? How many times did you have 70 plays last year? Not many. The average is mostly 60 to 65, somewhere in there. 28 carries and 36 attempts passing. This is a winning remedy for the Eagles right here. That's a winning remedy. This is a winning remedy. This is not a winning remedy. That is not a winning remedy. 40 rushes. That is a winning remedy and 25 passes. I'm sorry, Jarrell, I'm sorry. That is a winning remedy, but they're not going to do that. That is. Barkley's not getting the ball 20 carries. No way. No way are you going to give him 20 carries. You should. Get this. Griffin says 40-plus passes. You lose. Here's why. Griffin, 40 passes, you're probably going to have 6 3-and-outs, or because of what? Incomplete passes. And you're looking for more high percentage plays for turnovers. Sills, why is it so hard for the Eagles organization to run the ball 25 times a game? It's only 6 carries a quarter. I don't know, James. And James, get this. Look, follow the money. Okay? Follow the money. Look where the money is. It's in the quarterback, and it's in the receivers, it's in the tight end, and it's in the O-line. What do you think the Eagles want to do Friday? Give it to Kenny Gainwell? If Kenny Gainwell has 10 carries, that's ridiculous. Why in the world would I involve him to the point where it's an integral part of running the ball with him when I'm paying those guys that money? It's ridiculous. I think they're going to throw the ball a shitload. I think it's going to be like 40-15, something like that, 42-15. That's how I see that. Nobody knows what kind of offense the Eagles are going to run. We haven't seen the starters play. That's even more frightening. Not even the players know what it looks like. Remember what they've been saying the whole week, this last week? Hey, that's practice. We got a seat in the game. Even the wide receivers are like, well, let me see it first. Dude, A.J. Brown came out and said, he goes, well, I don't know if it's going to be better than 23 offense. You were 8th. You scored 26 points a game. You weren't awful. How many teams in the NFL would take the 8th-ranked offense and a team that scores 26 points a game? How many teams would take that in the league? 95% of them? Think the Giants would like that? Gee, you think the Bears would like that? Carolina, the Bucks? Name it. Brian, think about this. I think the Rams would take that. That's a Ram offense. 8th ranked total. 26 points a game. Okay. Shit, I'm in. Oh, that's right. How about the Steelers? You think the Steelers would take 26 points a game? An 8th ranked overall? Shit. With that defense, they'd win the Super Bowl. That's right, Frankie. Frankie, I stole that from you. Absolutely. By the way, also, I'm going to say this to you. Do not get behind in this game too much. Don't get behind. Do not get behind in this game. By the way, before we get Xander on, I'm going to go Eagle defense versus the Packer offense. Okay? So we're going to do that. And we're going to do that next. We're going to reset a little bit also on what we said about Devin White losing his starting job and was told this on Tuesday. I'm not sure I really believe that this guy's got an ankle injury. They didn't play last week. Okay? They didn't play last week. Xander bringing the heat. Bringing the heat. The greatness in the Kobe Dean. Best. You know what Xander's going to say to you guys? Bottom of the hour. You thought Concrete Bednarik was great. Holy cow. Nakobe Sledgehammer Dean is coming. That's Xander's boy. Best linebacker the Eagles have had since Chuck Bednarik. How you doing? And if that guy goes down, you guys put Van Helsing in. Best linebacking core in pro ball. Well, UFL ball. But hey, who's counting? Hey, speaking of counting, our good friends at BetUS, man. Good stuff here, folks. During the football season. Hey, NFL season starts tomorrow. College football started really last week, and it was exciting. It was exceptional. Hopefully everybody jumped aboard with our new partners at BetUS. We've teamed up with them this football season, and we're so looking forward to that great partnership. 125% bonuses on your first 3 deposits of up to $2,000. That's right. Great stuff here. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. Fastest payouts in the business. 24/7 personalized service. Live wagering on all major games. You can't miss out. The home of Michael Vick. Again, make sure you also understand crypto. 200% on your deposits there as well. betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. Do me a favor. Tell them Big Sil sent you.
Michael Vick at betus.com. Catch an incredible 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits plus 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS, my online sports book and casino.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
as long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
heading down the shore. Have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wildwood day.
Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
Imagine for a moment that you went to work today and when you came home, you were catastrophically injured. Your life and your family's life. That's what happened to union construction worker Mike Little.
I was scared of what the end was going to be, but to be 100% honest with you, I knew I was going to be all right just by talking with Brian. In my heart, I just knew everything was going to be all right.
Call the firm and find out why they say, "We got this." Call 215-458-2222.
Michael Vick at BetUS.com. Catch an incredible 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS, my online sportsbook and casino.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Everybody wants to come on the Big Chill Show, even Laura Loomer. Trying to find a time to come on with Big Sills either today or tomorrow. How you doing? See, the one thing that we do here, we get down to the brass taxes of truth, justice, and the Big Sills way. We don't hide. Hey, those are counterfeit posters going around the Eagles when the guy is on your ledger for your company business directory. What's your name? See if somebody can get this and this reference. What's your name? Clay. You're going to have to be a little, this Clay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Financing for Mr. Takagi. Clay. Right? This guy's right there, man. There he is. Great work, John McMullen. John had to actually, that's it. Forte, very nice. Bill Clay. Hey, thank you, Forte. Okay? Bill Clay. Yes. Bill Clay. Yeah. John did his due diligence. Oh, there he is. There's his name. He's on the company roster. He works for the Eagles. So let me get this right. You know, not to say anything here, but with Xander and Joe, so I think what I'll do is I'll just go out and I'll just start, using their fonts and, their company logo and imaging, and I'll start putting out their preposterous things. Well, they say I do that anyway. So wait a minute. A guy works in the Eagles. They call them, they're disavowing them, but yet the guy works for him. I'm confused. How can the guy work for you and you go, well, those are counterfeit? What? He works in your business and he's using your logos in your website. Do you not register people to vote in Pennsylvania? Yeah, but they're counterfeit. Okay, the guy works for you, right? Yeah. How are they counterfeit when he works for you and he's an employee of the Philadelphia Eagles for 25 years? They're counterfeit. Oh, yeah. Well, you sound like Nick Sirianni now. You're not answering a question. Does the guy work for you, yes or no? And by the way, let's put it out there one last thing here. How many people, hey, look, let's do this. What's the toolbox's name? What's the guy's name that put it out there? What's the tool's name that put it out there? Let me ask you this. So Nick Sirianni has to ask the organization whether or not he can play his players in an exhibition game. Okay? How he makes all decisions on personnel has to ask the owner. You really think a guy's putting out posters without someone in the Eagle organization signing off on that? Really? Does that organization come off going, hey, we trust you. Go ahead and do what you feel. Go ahead. Yeah, no, that sounds like the Eagle way. Right. Is JAKIB doing a pre- and post-game show this year? Ho, 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 ho. Ho, 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 ho. Oh, ho, 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 ho. I don't know. By the way, I don't know. Big Sills might have to get involved in that. I haven't done a pre- and post-game show since I did it for the Raiders. Just so you know. You're right, Sills. If it was an Eagle employee, there is a difference between counterfeit and unauthorized. Right. Okay. Joey, I'm not at liberty to say anything yet. But let me just say this to you. We've talked the last couple of years about it, and not my deal. Maybe. I think it was more of ask for forgiveness rather than permission. Dude, I think the Eagles don't even know what the kid did. I agree. Still working there. Again, like I said, yeah, I'm sure the Eagles just say this to their employees. Do what you want. Go ahead. Use our logo. Hey, can I use the logo too? Hey, Joe, let's put an Eagle logo up on our website here. Can we please? Let's use your colors and their likeness. And, since they don't have a problem with people posting forgeries and counterfeit shit, can we do it too? Hey, can I start selling Eagle t-shirts? They could Kamala's face on it. Counterfeit, since they're counterfeit. What would they have a problem with it with? Can I sell those? Hey, can I have 1,000 shirts of those? I'd like to sell them. I don't care. I'll sell them. You got a $6 billion company, and you got a guy using the logo of a $6 billion company. I'm sure IBM. Hey, and I'm sure Exxon and all those companies would be, go ahead, use the logo, no problem. Hey, you want to use the website? Hey, you want to pick a political party? Have at it. I'm sure that's how that works. Right? Eagles are worth $6 billion. And you got a guy taking the logo and the website going, hey, vote for Harris. Again, I don't give a shit who you vote for, but I think it's classic. And then they turn around and go, hey, we didn't okay that. Does he work for you? Yeah. Oh, man. Okay. Hey, only in the world of the Eagles. Hey, where's that czar Bob Lang? He's up my boss's ass every day. Why can't somebody come to the podium and go, yeah, the guy was just kind of like unauthorized to do this shit here. But, hey, Bob, man, you can't get rid of that nuclear mess, can you? You need a have mask to get out of this one. It's like 3 Mile Island here. Hey, Bob Lang walks around that NovaCare Center with a half mask outfit on sometimes. You got to clean Jalen up. Holy shit, I got to clean Nick up. Now I got to clean this shit up. Holy cow, this guy. And he'll put a blowtorch to everyone else. Fantastic. Only in Philly. One of the funnest teams in my lifetime in broadcasting to cover. You know why? Once again, just like Angelo said, the fans are sensational. Dude, that sports market is all you. I mean it with my whole heart. The Philly sports fans are the best on the planet. You know why? You're passionate. You bitch. You sound like me. It's crazy. Crazy great. And by the way, you got a short fuse like me. Okay? Your emotions are on your sleeve like me. If a guy talks too loud, you jump his shit like me. You know why some of you come in here and attacking me? Because I talk too loud. You guys don't like guys that talk loud or talk over you. I get it. Nobody in my family did either. The hell, we're Italians. Bill, Sills, Seth, Mark, and Mike, post-game would be, yeah, you know what? I'm going to say this to you, Jameson. All you need is Big Sills. We're good. I don't want to share. Hey, I'm one of these guys. I don't like sharing my lobster with anybody. Okay, Missinelli would never work with Sills. Who said I'd want to work with him? I like working with people that are good. Let's see, Sills. The Eagles fired the head coach who won them a Super Bowl. This kid misrepresented a $6 billion franchise, and he still has a key card. Hey, has a key fob. No way. This organization is all about control. Nobody goes rogue. That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. I don't give a shit if you voted for Mayor McCheese in the last election. If you bleed green, that's all that matters. Andreas, that's right. Hey, Andreas. One more time, Andreas. I'm never going to tell you who to vote for. Other people tell you who to vote for. Other people get mad at your political beliefs. I don't. I don't judge you on your political beliefs either, or your religious beliefs. Those are personal things. But today in our society, everyone values that to a point where they pick their friends now off that shit. I don't. Just because somebody doesn't believe in my beliefs, that means that I'm not going to not like you. Dude, not everybody's perfect. When's the last time you saw a perfect friend? My wife's not perfect. She's not here. That's why I can say that. Okay? Right? Hey, look at this. This is the perfect right here. I'm voting for whoever puts out the cheap lobster platform. God, I love lobster and scoongeel. I'm with you, dog. Hey, you make my dinner table cheaper. You got my vote. You put cheaper gas in my car. You got my vote. I can fly on airplanes cheaper. You got my vote. Because you're going to build a bridge somewhere or somebody's library, you don't got my vote. I don't care about that shit. I don't care. I don't care. By the way, I want to reiterate what we opened the show with today, because I think it's important. Devin White, it's being reported he has an ankle injury. That must have come up on Sunday night, because the last 2 days, he's been posted on the injury report. I think it came out on Tuesday and then today. So when was he hurt? They didn't really have any hard practices. Okay, they kind of tapered it down and they're getting ready to go to Brazil. When was he hurt? Last week? When was he hurt? They had a walkthrough, from what I was told, on Tuesday. So when did he get hurt? So I was told that he was informed that he wasn't starting and that Vic Fangio had no intentions of starting him. And there was even comments being made and thrown around the league that Howie had been chopping him to trade him prior to the cutdown day. Okay? So prior to cutdown day, they were looking to move him. All of a sudden, he's told he's not starting. Now he's not in Brazil. You find that weird or no? You find that weird? No? He was never starting. I've got the depth chart. And by the way, I also said this. As of right now on the depth chart, as they're in the air right now on the way to Brazil. Keely Ringo is in the 2-hole at cornerback 2. I'm saying, is he really going to start against Jordan Love on Friday? Keely Ringo instead of Isaiah Rodgers? Now, some would say, why is it Quinyon Mitchell? Quinyon Mitchell's going to play more reps than anybody in the secondary in this game on Friday. He's going to play in the slot. He's going to play nickel. He's going to play some corner. Don't get hung up on that. he's going to play corner. But they got Ringo out there right now. Ringo can't play in the slot like that. The one thing that Quinyon Mitchell has shown Vic Fangio, you know what he is? And let's do this. And let's give Vic some credit here about one thing. Let me show you something here, which is going to make you feel good about Quinyon Mitchell. And it makes me feel good about Quinyon Mitchell. Here it is. So Patrick Surtain just got $96 million in a contract extension, which will pay him $24 million per, which makes him the highest paid corner in pro football. $77.5 million guaranteed. You know who drafted him? Vic Fangio. So if Vic's saying that this kid has had a really good camp and he's playing well, and every time that we've put him in a position, he's excelled, I'm sold. I'm sold. I don't need Vic Fangio to go, oh my God, and do a Nick Sirianni, one of them word salad bullshit press conferences, or have some guy give me some hyperbole. When Vic goes like this, hey, anytime we put him in a situation, and God, by the way, the last press conference that Vic Fangio did, what was the one thing that was significant? They asked him about putting him at corner. He's like, well, we need him. We need him at slot. And why is that? Because 70% of the time you're in nickel defense or you're in third down defense. That's why he's going to be on the field more. And he's going to get reps out there at the corner position. They don't have anybody to play in the slot out there that Vic feels comfortable with. That's one thing that's right on, man. Brandon's right. Vic's honest. He's telling you flat out. And he tells you in a way that says this. Hey, get this. Can you imagine Vic Fangio coming to Devin White and Devin White giving you all that bullshit word salad stuff about how he chose the Eagles because Howie got on a Zoom with him and all that bullshit? Howie was trying to trade him. Vic told him, you're not starting. He looks like a dope. He was never, even Jeff McClain says he was never starting. Dean had beaten him out. Dean had beaten him out. I think that's big news. Philly 500 is going to join us at 4:30 Eastern time. You know, you guys have had some really great linebackers in the history of the National Football League. Concrete Bednarik, Bill Bergey, one of the truly greats of all time. Love Bill Bergey. Got him over from Cincinnati. And then you got Seth. Then you got Hugh. And now, you know what you got? You now have Concrete. Ray Lewis. N'Kobe Dean. Holy cow, Xander thinks this guy's better than Concrete. He's better than Chuck. A trophy was named after Bednarik, the Bednarik Award. Legendary. Let's go to the co-host of Birds 365, our friend, Xander, Big Z Kraus. How you doing, brother?
What's up, Big Sills?
How you doing, man? That's right. Brian Evans, too, man. He's in that line there. Holy cow. All right. So let me start it out here with this, and let me go in order here. So now it's coming out here that Devin White was told, this is me saying this, that Devin White was told on Tuesday he wasn't starting. All of a sudden, there's some sort of infamous ankle injury. Wait, Anaya Smith? Hey, Anaya Smith was put on IR. Wow. John McMullen's sitting right next to him going, how you doing? Yeah, I feel pretty good. You know, all of a sudden, this guy gets hit by a sniper on the way into the NovaCare Center, and he's on the injury report. Now, here's a guy that doesn't even get on the freaking plane, and the rumors were that Howie was trying to trade him. And you got a game to play in a couple days. What's your whole take here on this thing with Devin White?
You got me now.
Yep, got you now.
Yeah, Johnny Mac. People are going to owe Johnny Mac some flowers, man. He's been talking about this all off season that he's not that high on Devin White, and everybody's been shitting on him in the comments. And look, he's been preparing me for this, so I'm not surprised. I will say the ankle thing, I don't know. It looks weird to me. I'm not going to sit here and say the guy's not injured if he's actually injured, but it's a little funny, how they manipulate it that easily. But yeah, it's interesting, man. For those who have been listening to Birds 365, they knew that they had an idea that Nakobe Dean would be the day one starter based on what John McMullen had been reporting all off season. So I was ready for it, but I didn't think it would go down this way, to be honest with you.
How about this, though, Xander? Let's just do it in a body count here. You're pretty small in that department now, linebacker. Yeah. If you get banged up at that position there, and the horse known as Nakobe Dean ends up blowing a horseshoe down there on Friday night, I mean, you got a guy named Ben Helsing in there playing linebacker for you, man. I mean, right, or you got Trotter playing.
You're right, man. Look, everybody has flipped this into it's Nakobe Dean's time, and
it is.
It is his time to shine. But if I'm Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers, they're going to feast on them all day long. And look, hopefully he can answer the bell. Maybe this is the start of Nakobe Ray Lewis Dean in Philly, or Chuck Bednarik or Seth Joyner, however you want to phrase it. Maybe it's the start. But it also might not be the start, and it might look pretty ugly at that position for us this year. But listen, we'll see what happens on Friday night. We're what are we, 50 hours, 52 hours, 53 hours away from this thing starting? We're going to know. We're going to know in the first 3 drives for Green Bay what our linebackers are going to be, or at least a good look at it. So it's right here, baby. It's coming, Sills. Jason Akeem, by the way, Jason, thank you for the for the gifting of the memberships, man. That was really cool of you to do. We appreciate your support here on JAKIB.
45. McMullen also lied about Barkley having more carries than
I think he read it wrong, Jason, but yeah, he was wrong about that.
Way to hold us accountable, Jason. I mean, hey,
Also, Jason, I'll dispute that. He also factored in college, which Saquon had almost 1,000 carries in college, which is a lot of workload in college.
Absolutely did. Absolutely.
Factor that in, yeah.
Hey, man, I talked to my boy, man. Kind of, do you know who my boy is there with the Eagles? And how about Keely Ringo right now is in the starting slot at CB2 right now over Isaiah. And, when pressed for it, he said, dude, Mitchell's probably going to play the most reps of any player in the secondary. It's not like he's not, but they need him in that position.
Yeah.
It sounds thin that they need him there and that they want to get Ringo, and they feel more balanced with Ringo and Mitchell on the field than having him over in a lesser guy playing in that nickel or slot. I mean, that's how Vic's looking at it. He wants balance back there. What's your take on Keely Ringo? Now, again, not confirmed, but yeah, I'm hearing Keely Ringo's quarterback too.
Yeah, I mean, that would be interesting because I've been hearing Isaiah Rodgers. John's been hearing Isaiah Rodgers. So, look, I haven't been high on Isaiah all off season, not because of the player, more because of the organization and the way they value their own draft picks. Isaiah was a guy we signed on the scrap heap after his suspension and stashed them away for a year for a minimum salary. Keely Ringo was a 4th-round draft pick. Quinyon Mitchell was a 1st. Cooper DeJean a 2nd. I just thought that those guys would get the nod if it was close over him, and it looks like that might happen. That'll be a credit to Big Sills though if Keely Ringo's put out there, because I haven't seen anybody say that, besides on this show. So
okay, wait a minute now. Is ESPN airing that game on Friday?
No.
Okay, who's airing that game on Friday?
That game is airing on NBC 10 locally, and then only on Peacock, which is a paid subscription service.
It's an NBC property.
Right, an NBC property. So NBC 10 is the local. If you're local in the area, I'm local, obviously, in the Philly area. So I'll be watching it on NBC 10. But for someone like you, you'll have to go Peacock.
I get it. Yeah. But again, at the end of the day, on the ESPN website also, they've listed Keely Ringo as a starter. It was just updated this
I
morning.
mean, look, that's
They
interesting.
updated it this morning, the depth chart, and Keely Ringo. I just looked. Somebody just gave me a heads up and went, Seals Keely Ringo is the starting corner for the Eagles on the ESPN website. And Jeremy Fowler sets those depth charts.
Yeah, look, we'll see what they end up doing. I think Vic, one of the things he likes to do is keep things close to the vest. So it wouldn't surprise me if nobody knew Keely was starting until here we are, 50 hours or whatever we are, 50-something hours away from the game. So, look, I like Keely. He's our biggest corner, and he's our most physical corner. Now, he has to acclimate still to the league. I think he still has some learning to do, but the guy is, I mean, Keely Ringo is, I think he's only 21 years old, and he's been already in the league for a year.
Those Packers receivers are big.
He just turned 22 in June, so he's a young guy. I mean, look, I think he's got a big upside, Keely Ringo. He was great in college for anybody that's an SEC fan and watched him in college. He was a tough guy in college, tough to go against. So I'm high on him. Look, I like him. I think it'll be good if they put him out there. He might have some growing pains, as we've talked about all offseason, but I don't think you're losing much by going with him over Isaiah Rodgers. I really don't.
Here, get this. Those receivers that the Packers have, Xander, are big dudes.
Well, that's true. That's a good point. And you know, it's
They're
funny
big
that
dudes,
Packers
and
core.
putting guys like Isaiah out there who's not a physical guy.
Yeah.
I think Vic
he's not physical at all, man.
He may be thinking that Isaiah gets pushed around off the line of scrimmage where Ringo can fight better on the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. I like Keely Ringo. We'll see what they end up doing there. And the funny part about that Packers receiving group is everybody's like, hey, you know, they don't have a star like A.J. Brown, but they got 4 really competent guys.
And a tight end.
And sometimes when you have a certain kind of quarterback, which I think Jordan Love fits into, that can almost be better. When you have 4 guys that you don't care who you're throwing to, all you want to do is find the open guy and get him the ball, you know, at the right moment, and you trust them to make a play. Sometimes that can play to your advantage. Let's think about Tom Brady, who never had a great wide receiver outside of Randy Moss, and well, you know, he had Gronk, so he had his things. But you know, if he had a receiver he could trust, he was getting the ball to him. And I think, you know, we're sleeping on this Packers offense a little bit. They were great last year. The offense. I mean, Jordan Love threw for 4,200 yards last year and 30-something touchdowns in his first year starting. He's a talented quarterback, so you definitely can't sleep on this team. This defense has an uphill battle in this game for sure, especially on the road in Brazil here. It'll be interesting to see how they play it.
Dan, I got to give you props. Reported yesterday that the coaches weren't happy not practicing the linebacker play. I see why White is out this weekend. I think Vic has said it too in his last press conference too, Xander, that he said it in his last press conference that the thing is not. Now I know. Get this. Now doesn't it even make more sense when Vic said this, when he was asked the question, is the linebacking core set? He went like this. No, it's still evolving.
Yeah.
He knew then that this was a problem with White and that they were trying to move him. How about the reports that they were trying to move him? They were trying to trade him.
Yeah, who put that out? Albert Breer, I think,
Albert Breer put it out that they were trying to trade him.
I wonder if this is the beginning of the end for Devin White already in Philly. It could be. It very well could be.
Doesn't it sound like an extension of what happened in Tampa?
Yeah, no, it does. Wait, by the way, didn't he get replaced by a rookie? And in the same way, though, didn't he have an ankle injury and he didn't dress that game?
Absolutely. He didn't dress for the playoff game.
Yeah, that's weird. We'll see what ends up happening here. By the way, let me push back on my man Abe. Stop it, Xander. They got beat by Raiders. They didn't even have a quarterback. Well, Abe, it was his rookie year. I mean, or his first year starting. He had some shitty moments last year for sure. He also destroyed the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs when the lights were brightest. So,
hey, Abe, you lost to Zach Wilson and you lost to Tyrod Taylor.
Well, I hear what Abe's saying, but I'm just saying you got to take both things. Jordan Love showed what potential he has, what capability he has. You're right, he wasn't consistent last year. He had some bad moments. Every first-year starter has bad moments.
Jalen was inconsistent last year. He was great at the beginning and terrible at the end.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So,
but it was reversed for Love because remember you and I were even saying, man, this guy's getting out to a rocky start. And then the last 8 games, including the playoff game, I thought he was great.
Look, I think Jordan Love, my point with him is we have to see it again because for year 2.
Agreed.
But I think he's got a lot of talent as a quarterback. And if he's coached up properly, which I think Matt LaFleur is a pretty good play calling head coach, I think they're going to be in a good position to win a lot of football games this year. And all I'm saying is don't take the guy lightly. Don't take it lightly because they don't have an A.J. Brown at receiver.
Especially with your defense. It's not like you have gangrene out there.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt.
I mean, you know what? You know what's funny, Xander? I think sometimes people look at the Eagle roster and they take how good your offense is and they apply that same identity to the defense when that defense is nowhere near the identity of the offense. You're nowhere near it's 10. If the Eagle offense is a 10 or a 9, you're a 3. You're not. Or how about this? You're a 3 because you're more unproven. You've got new faces. You've got a new coordinator. You've got a brand new coaching staff. All of it is more unknown. Now, can that get to a 7 by the end of the year? Absolutely. Could it stay at a 3 or maybe get to a 2? Yeah. That's the unknown. That offense on Philadelphia is going to be in the top 5. I don't think there's any debate on that, right, Xander? Is there any debate?
I mean, they should be. That's the expectation. So if they don't reach that,
top 7, right? Top 7. They'll be, dude. If you're not in the top 7 with that offense,
they were what, 8th last year?
8th last year, and you scored 26 a game. I mean,
yeah.
Look,
the expectation is
7,
there.
There's problems there.
The expectation is high on this team, and especially on that offense. So we'll see what they're able to do. But all I'm saying is don't count out this Jordan Love guy. I know everybody, he's a good quarterback. That's all I'm saying. He's a good player. He's got a lot of potential. So I think he's going to be a good player.
All right, Xander, I'm going to ask you this question. And let me get through it here. Who has the quarterback advantage on Friday? Last year, Love threw for 41-59, 32 TDs, 11 interceptions, and he was 10-9 counting the playoffs. Last year, Hurts was 38-58, 23 touchdowns, 15 picks, 11-8 last year as a starter. And by the way, when I'm saying this, I don't believe that there's this cascade of a difference where you got one guy over here and another guy over here. I mean, I think these guys, it's style of play.
Right.
That is the difference here. But again, then I'm going to ask you another question. So who do you think has the advantage?
I think Jalen Hurts has the advantage in this game until proven otherwise. I think Jalen's done more in the league. I think he's a more established quarterback. I think he's got a better surrounding cast. I know we're talking about quarterbacks, but look, like you said, it's kind of pick your poison. I mean, if you want a passing quarterback, I think you take Jordan Love. If you want a more versatile quarterback that can beat you in multiple ways and fits your style, then Jalen Hurts is your guy. I think Jalen has done more, though. So from an objective point of view, I do think Eagles have a quarterback advantage in this game. But that doesn't mean it's by a long shot. I think Jordan Love's very good. I'm higher on Jordan Love than most are in the chat. I think Jordan Love's going to be a great player in this league. So it's a smidge, but I got Jalen Hurts as the advantage over Jordan Love.
Here's why I'm asking you. The average amount of plays that a team goes through is about 65 plays. I want you to dissect that up for me and how many passes you think are going to be thrown and how many running plays are going to be thrown in this game. And I'll tell you if you're putting a winning formula together. Go ahead.
It's going to be what, 35? I mean, you're saying 65 plays?
65 plays.
65 plays means you're going to have well north of 30 passes. They're not going to run the ball 35 times. So okay. I think that's unrealistic for any team, even a run heavy team. So
well, that's what again.
40 and 25. I got 40 and 25. I mean, I don't like to hear that Hurts has 40 attempts on the ground. Maybe it's 35 and 30 with a couple quarterback runs. You know what I mean?
30, well, so Jalen has to be involved in the running if it's 30 carries?
3 to 5 times, maybe. Yeah. I mean, okay, what do you think Saquon has?
Okay, so let me get the number first. Let me get the number first here. So you think it's 40 and 25?
I think it's closer to 35-30 probably. But
okay, 40 attempts, in my opinion, is a losing formula.
Well, here's the thing. It depends on the game, right? I mean, if the Eagles have a big lead going into the going into the second half, shit, man, they're going to have 40 runs. And it's going to be spread across all 3 running backs.
There's no way that team runs a ball with Kellen Moore 40 times.
If they go into the 3rd and 4th quarter, though, with a big lead, and it depends the style of the game. If Green Bay takes a 2-touchdown lead in the first quarter, you better damn right you know that Jalen Hurts is going to have 40 passing attempts because you're going to be playing catch-up all game. If they have a lead, they're going to run the ball out more. They're going to have a more balanced attack. I think that they're going to run the ball a lot. So it depends on the game. Obviously, it depends on the the style of the game that's being played. But
one of the things that I always looked at last year with Nick was Nick kind of played the game out on a Saturday night and kind of knew what he was going to do because it was so vanilla. My question is going to be, Barkley get 20 carries? What's Gainwell going to get? 10? What's Jalen going to get? 5, as you say? That's 35 carries.
Yeah.
So you think that football team is going to put the ball 35 times on the ground?
I don't think Saquon has 20 rushing attempts.
Okay. So wait. So you think he has what? 15?
Yeah, maybe.
How many does Gainwell have? 5?
Again, it depends on the game, but average it out, let's say 8, 7, 8.
Okay, it's 23. And how many does Jalen have? 5.
Yeah, 5, 3 to 5. I'd like it to be a little less than that, but I mean, if you get 5 a game, that's what, almost 100 carries in the year. So I don't think you want that many for him, but let's just say 5 for the game.
So you're going to go from like 180 carries, 190 carries a year down to 100. You're going to take 90 carries out of that offense that makes him great.
Is that how much he had last year? 190 carries?
The year before, I know because he missed a couple games, he had 168 carries.
That's too much, though, man.
In 14 games last year.
I know it's a big part of his game, and I understand you don't want to change him out of what he is, but you got to have some idea of you got to have some eye on the longevity of your quarterback. You can't run him 190 times a year. It's just not a winning formula in the long term.
If he would have played those in 22, if he would have played those final 2 games and had been healthy, he would have had 190 carries.
So he had 165 carries.
Think about if he played those 2, he would have had 189, 190 carries that year, almost 200 carries that year.
157 last year.
That's a ton.
I think you got to get that number down to 120.
You're telling me that if this guy has 5 carries a game, he's going to have about 110, 120 carries. You're going to drop that down 30.
Yeah, I think you got to get it to 120. Talk about 7, 8 carries a game, I think is where you're going to be with him.
So you're taking that dynamic of what he does great you're taking it further away from 22. Hey, don't you see the difference, Xander?
Look, man, it's a sink or swim, man. We've talked about it.
Wait a minute. Was 100 almost 190 carries if you averaged it out what he would have had in 22? You decided to run him less and throw more yet last year. Well, it didn't perform as well. Now you're going to ask him to run even less, and all of a sudden you're going to accept him to go into there and throw the ball 40 times? I'm trying to figure out a formula here on what they think is going to be a winning formula, because I do agree with these guys that are in here. I think they have to fucking run the ball, dude. I think you have to run Green Bay into the ground and find out if they can stop the run. Because Xander, if you play finesse football, this is what Jaws talked about. If you play finesse football with Green Bay, you keep Green Bay's average defense in the game.
Yeah, I don't know what their approach is going to be here. Look, I think JM just put it in the chat how many Josh Allen had 111 carries. I think that's your benchmark.
6'6".
I think that's your benchmark. I don't think you want to get much higher than that, man. I really don't. I think 120 gives you, 7 carries a game?
Yeah.
I think that's plenty of carries for your quarterback a game. I really do.
Especially if you're spreading it around.
Yeah, you got to pick and choose your moment. Got to pick and choose your moments,
JM, I'll tell you where 190's coming from. He missed 2 games that year. And the last game of the year, he didn't play full strength. He was averaging 17 carries for 14 games. You add the thing up, add another 30 carries, or at least another 15 to 20 carries, and you would
at least 165 in 15 games is more than 10 a game. So if 2 games average, let's call it 11. Right, call it 11 because 15 into 165 is 11. It's 22 more carries. That's 180. Yeah, it's 188, 180.
180, dude.
Yeah.
So you're going to go from 180 down to 150, and then you're going to say 110. You're taking a dynamic out of that game as a defensive play caller. If that's me, I'm not worried about this guy. Now, here's another question. Xander, the number one thing I think you got to look for on Friday is this. Is he going to spread the ball around?
Kellen Moore is going to make him spread the ball around. No doubt. Look, Jalen Hurts is going to have to take a step forward as a passing quarterback to work in this Kellen Moore offense. I think everybody knows that. I think most people believe that he's already good enough. I am not in that camp. I think he still has ways to improve. That doesn't mean I don't think he's going to do it. I believe he's going to get better like he's done almost every single year of his professional career. But I do think he's going to have to up his game passing the football to work in Kellen Moore's system. Because like you pointed out, Kellen Moore spreads the ball around. He loves to throw the football. He loves motion. He loves all those things that passing quarterbacks use. Now, what's going to be the fusion of the two, right? The talent Jalen Hurts has and the coordinator they have. It's going to require him to be a good passer of the football. So he's got to take a step forward and throwing the ball, no doubt.
So am I under the
look 22? Who Jalen was though as a passer in 22
was set up by the run.
I know, but when he threw the ball, he was efficient. He threw for 66% completion percentage and that 101 rating. If he does that with Kellen Moore's offense, even in a more expanded role, it's going to be it's at 14-3 in an MVP season.
I don't see that because again, you're taking the 180 carries out of that. You're taking 180 carries.
I didn't take 180 carries out of that. I took 40. If he plays 17 games, yeah, you take 50 carries out. I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing.
Last 2 years, he's carried the ball 330 times almost, right? 320? Is that something like that? 320?
He's carried it 524 times in his NFL career. So the last 2 years, yeah, you're right. Last 2 years, it's 320, 315.
So you're basically talking here like 160 carries a year.
Yeah.
Okay. So that number is going to go down to what, 100? So you're going to take 60 carries out of the offense from him. Those are explosion plays from him.
Yeah, but look, you got to pick and choose
22.
your moments,
he was explosive out of
Here's the thing. I know, but when you talk about stats with Jalen Hurts, it doesn't tell the whole story because if the opportunity is there for the big splash play with the run, he's going to take it. I don't want him to do as much as
year.
Well,
Wake Martindale said it.
I know. Was he hurt last year? Was there an injury lingering? He does look quicker in camp. I don't know. Look, you bring up a lot of fair points. That's what I'll say. I think what you're saying, even for the biggest Eagles truthers out there, what you're saying makes sense. If they get rid of his running game, he is going to have to be a more proficient passer of the football. That makes sense. I think you're right about it, and we're going to see what he can do. I hopefully he can rise up and be the quarterback we need him to be.
Don't you agree? That's one of the reasons why you kept hearing Kellen say this. He's done a really nice job at checkdowns, and he's going what the defense is giving him. I think that's really a code to let me know this. Hey, man, if they implement that check, because do you honestly believe? Do you know what Shady McCoy said that he thought? You know who he thought the best back was in the NFL? Who do you think today on his new show that he has on FS1? Who do you think he said is the best back in the NFL? You're going to be stunned. He said DeAndre Swift.
Oh, come on, Shady. What are you boys?
He said he was underutilized.
Come on, man. I know he was underutilized. But to sit here and say Shady or
Shady
DeAndre. I'm a DeAndre guy. I went to high school with him. I was in a grade above him. I met DeAndre. I have a great picture. I should bring it up on the show of me in high school with DeAndre Swift. But come on, man. Best running back in the league, DeAndre Swift.
The Eagles didn't utilize him in the passing game enough last year.
The best running back in the league is by and far Christian McCaffrey, and it's not particularly close on number 2. So, but let me see if I can find that picture. That's a great picture. So
I would love to see that, man.
It's after the Eagles won, or the Eagles. St. Joe's Prep won the state championship. Dude, look at how young look how young I look. This is great. You're gonna love.
I was kind of shocked, but you know what? Bijan is miles better than Swift. Yeah, Bijan Robinson. I told you guys on draft day that's the guy you should take, but you got Carter. I'm all right with Carter. But Bijan Robinson's an offensive weapon. Oh, this is a great picture.
Look at that, baby.
Shit. Look at these two young guys.
Yeah, man. There's DeAndre Swift and me at St. Joe's Prep. That was the state championship game that the Prep won in 2014, Hershey Park Stadium in Hershey. Yeah. So me and everybody went up.
Yeah. Up there, dude.
Yeah, pretty funny picture though there, right?
Hey, did you guys did your prep team ever play at Franklin Field?
I think they did, yeah. I mean, I don't have it off the top of my head. I wouldn't remember it all, but I'm sure they did play at Franklin Field. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good picture there, though, isn't it? So
Yeah,
look, nobody loves DeAndre Swift more than me, but to say he's the best back in the NFL is, I think, a little bit wrong. That's what I'll say.
How about this thing? Isn't it crazy on Friday that Nick Sirianni can't win, no matter what happens? Because if they win, it's Kellen Moore has been the difference, and if they lose, it's Nick still the cancer in the locker room. That is really a shitty situation to put a head coach in that no matter what he does, because you know what the first thing Eagle fans are going to say? See, it was Brian Johnson and the failures of Nick Sirianni last year. And get this, if they get out of the gate slow, they're going to go like this. Hey, Nick's still in the building. This is all on him.
Yeah, look,
he can't win.
I think they've set him up to fail. But look, we've talked about this dynamic all off season, and I'll ask you what you think of this theory, because somebody put it in our comments, not in our live chat right now. I see Andre's being a dumbass in the chat. This was in like a comment on a video after, and I was reading the comments last night, and I'm like, that's interesting. Did Jalen Hurts choose the coordinator last year?
Brian Johnson?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And in a way, this commenter proposed that maybe we're seeing it all wrong, and Nick has more autonomy, and let me fix my mic. Sorry. You got me?
Yeah.
And Jalen Hurts is the one who, they gave him all the power because it's sink or swim for him. Now, they're tied to him contractually, so I don't think it's actually true, but I do know how close Jalen was with Brian and how well he worked with Shane. Maybe Jalen was the guy who was like, I'd rather keep the continuity here, keep Brian
Johnson
in the room, and I don't know, maybe.
Well, wait a minute. How about this one? This is my take on that. I think that Nick Sirianni had proved that he had a lot of autonomy and it built up a lot of equity getting that team and helping that team get to a Super Bowl. And I heard your boy on to say going, what was his actual role? Nick doesn't have a role. His role is with the owner and the GM. He is the guy that is there to convey a message on what the organization's culture is. He's not there to coach anybody. He's not there to he's there to administrate. He's not a coach. You hear him talking now. He doesn't talk about coaching. He talks about sticking his head into meetings. He talks about personnel with Howie now. He is the number one coach style that ownership and GM want. Now, again, Howie doesn't really give a shit, like you said, Xander, because Howie's going to go with what the owner wants. The owner wants that style to convey a culture. And Nick has done this. And I say that Nick had say last year. That's why they elevated. And they elevated from within because they like to do that stuff. They like to look great. And they like to have, we hired an offensive coordinator from our own coaching staff and we elevated him. Look at how great a job we did. Well, that fell apart. Nick lost his equity last year. Jalen Hurts said this, in my opinion, I want you to keep Nick Sirianni away from me as far as you can. And I want you to get a coordinator in here that I work with solely, and that's it. And
but they did that for him in 23. Did they not?
No, I think that was a Nick. I think that's what Nick wanted.
So you think Brian Johnson? Wait.
Elevated him.
Let me just lay this out for you, because you're a guy who loves to theorize like this. You're telling me that Brian Johnson, who was best friends with Jalen Hurts growing up, who coached with his father or whatever it was, his entire life was entirely a Nick Sirianni pick, and Jalen Hurts had nothing to do with that?
No, I think the organization wanted to look good by hiring from within. Since
right,
when doesn't that organization?
I'm just saying, I think the alternative is an enticing point of view as well.
It does.
Yeah.
Oh, I think because that organization, the way they act, look at just the poster thing going on. They love complete control and they love to control the narrative.
Yeah. No, you're right.
I mean, there's no question about it. Hey, get this. They're going around the city going like this. Those are counterfeit posters. And yet you got a guy, that John McMullen, who did great work, found a guy on the company ledger and there's his name. You're like this. Wait, this guy's section answers to the ownership. I mean, what are you, nuts? And so I'm going like, wait a minute, it's counterfeit, but yet he works for you. Oh, okay. That sounds so Eagle.
It does. You're right about that for sure. But look, I mean, this thing's either going to work or it's going to come unhinged. And if it comes unhinged, Nick's gone, and I would even say Kellen's going to be gone anyway. So it's going to regroup the whole damn thing. But you're right. Look, Nick Sirianni is set up to be the scapegoat of this team. That's what it looks like to me. So I do think you're right about that. But look, we'll see how it all works out. I think they have a good chance to be a really good team this year. And we won't be talking about this next year, because if Nick Sirianni leads this team back to, let's say, the NFC title game, his job is secure, man. It is. So, and so is Jalen's. So I think if this team wins, this all goes away.
Hey, do me a favor. I got one more question for you, okay?
Right, hit me.
But don't forget also, too, folks, our great friends at BetUS. This is a great time of the year. Tomorrow, the National Football League season starts at Arrowhead again for the second year in a row. Baltimore goes to Kansas City. Then, of course, the game on Friday. You've got the Packers and the Eagles, and then all the games on Saturday, college football, and also on Sunday. And our partnership now with BetUS, we're so proud here at JAKIB to have that great relationship. Your first 125% bonuses of the first 3 deposits. 125% bonus. Get this, man. Unbelievable in your first 3 deposits, up to $2,000. All you guys have to do is do that. And on top of that, too, your crypto, 200%. This is the home of Michael Vick. Go to betus.com.pa. That's betus.com.pa. Personalized service, fastest payouts in the business, live wagering on every single game that you possibly could have this coming weekend, Thursday and Friday, Sunday, and actually the Monday game too, with Niners and Jets are all there for you, and we're inviting you to go aboard with them. betus.com.pa. betus.com.pa. Tell them Big Sil sent you.
Michael Vick at betus.com. Catch an incredible 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS, my online sportsbook and casino.
All right, folks, do me a favor. Please hit the like button. We appreciate you guys doing that. Where are we in the likes right now, Xander?
172.
Come on, guys. Get that. Let's get it up to 200 before we get the Philly 500 with us. He'll be with us at the bottom of the hour. We'll get him on. I got one last question for you. How much pressure is on Jalen Hurts to get out to a strong start in 2024 in the month of September?
I think a lot of pressure. I think as much as this is set up for Nick to be the guy who's on the outs, I think Jalen Hurts is going to have to answer the bell. I mean, look, I love the player. I projected, I think he wins the MVP this year, but we are out of excuses. I mean, the guy has a run. He's got one of the best running backs in the league. He's got the best tandem of wide receivers, arguably, in the NFL. He's got a top tight end. They traded now for a wide receiver 3. They spent a 3rd-round pick to get a wide receiver 3 in here. They've re-upped the offensive line. They continue to spend resources on the offensive line. He's got everything, so the leash is going to be shorter in terms of, playing well. If he comes out and starts slow, I think the city's going to be, lighting him up. Now, I think he's going to have the lenience to be able to turn the thing around, and I think he would turn it around. But, if he starts slow in these first 3-4 games, the city's gonna be lit up. I'm telling you, they're gonna be fired up, and they're gonna be turning him into a villain a little bit pretty quickly. So we'll see how it plays out, but it'll be interesting to see that dynamic. Will they blame Hurts? Will they blame Kellen? Will they blame Nick Sirianni? You remember, because Nick Sirianni's kind of removed himself from the offense. So while I say I think he's set up to be the scapegoat, he could also use it as hey, it's not my offense, so, it'll be interesting to see how he responds and how Jalen comes out and plays. I think he's going to have to get started, though, pretty quickly with this team. I think there's a lot of expectation. And I think most people don't understand that until the games start, because right now it's all excitement, right? There's nothing negative. It's all, oh, we signed this guy. We got this offense. We're this good on paper. We have this with this roster, and people get jacked up, and I'm jacked up, rightfully so. So, but if shit hits the fan, they'll turn quick because.
Well, Xander, get this. So the benchmark is this: you were 8th in offense last year, and you scored 26, and everybody got raises a year ago.
Yeah, but here's the problem with the 8th in offense thing: is everybody remembers
they won 11 games.
I know, but everybody remembers the last 7. And the last 7, they were nowhere near the 8th ranked offense in the league. I think they were bottom 10. So I'm not saying that it doesn't matter. I do think you're right that the benchmark is 8th ranked, but I think it doesn't have to be that right away because everybody is
way to
thinking,
look at it.
exactly. Everybody's thinking about how bad that thing looked down the stretch. I mean, we put up 9 points versus the Buccaneers. Look, I get it. Our defense needs to get better, and you talk about our defense all the time on every show. But if you think you're going to beat any playoff team, whether it's the Bucs or the Chiefs, with 9 points on the board, you got another thing coming. So I agree. Our defense sucked last year, but our defense wasn't the problem in that playoff game. They weren't great, but shit, man, we had 9 points on the board, Dan. You're not beating the Panthers with 9 points on the board.
No, the Bucs couldn't put up more than 9 against the Panthers in the final game of the year.
Yeah, so look, you got to win. You got to win, and you got to put up points. And the offense has as much pressure, I think, as the defense because of how good they are on paper, and what their expectation is. So, you know, it's a lot easier to live up to it when your expectation is to be middle of the pack. When you're expected to be great, it's a tougher swing.
Here's what I want to answer this with you with David. David goes, so you're telling me after 2 playoffs and a Super Bowl appearance, he's out, and 26 other teams keep quarterbacks for years and never make it. That's crazy. Dak, okay? Cowboys for 9 years. Here's why, David. You're spending $200 million on talent on that Eagle offense.
David, Jalen's not going to be scapegoated. Man.
He's not. But the pressure for that guy when no other they've got the greatest personnel in the NFL right now on offense. There's no team in the NFL, maybe the Niners, that have better personnel than the Philadelphia Eagles. And you gave them $50 million after the 22 year, and you don't want them to play like the 22 style of football any longer. My question comes down to this. If not now, David, when? I mean, if not now, new coordinator, $200 million on offensive players. If not now, when? I mean, here you are, dude. I mean, eventually rent's due.
You bring up a good point, Sills. You really do, David. I think as a fan of the team, you'll understand what Sills is saying. Everything is on the table for him, and you know what? It's tough to project that he'll have this good of a team around him for that many years to come. It just gets harder, man. That's how it works in the NFL. You got to regroup. Now, I think Howie will be good. I think we will regroup because we have Howie. But Sills brings up a good point, man. If not now, when? If not now, when?
David. Here's the reason why I say his career has been inconsistent is what you just brought up.
David's right, though, on that comment.
But that's why he'll never be a consistent ball player. You know why? Can you imagine this? What's the one thing that has made Jordan Love a really good ball player? He's got Matt LaFleur developing him. He's not going anywhere. Matt LaFleur is going to be with Jordan Love for the next 5 years, Xander. Are you sure Kellen Moore is going to be with Jalen Hurts the next 2 years?
Yeah, we don't know. You're right. We don't know.
What top quarterback in the NFL are you not sure? Get this. Jared Goff. Okay, I'm not sure because Johnson will probably get a job. CJ Stroud, that kid Slokey will probably get a gig. So you're going to look at 2 guys with differences there. But look at what you got in Kansas. There's no getting around the fact that Andy Reid has been with him for 6 years. 6 years of the same play calling in his ear. There's no getting around that. There's no getting around in Green Bay that they've had 33 years of quarterbacking and they've had one stability thing. You know what that is? Mike Holmgren, Mike McCarthy, and now they have Matt LaFleur. There's no getting around that they keep their coaches, but their coaches are – Mike Holmgren was a play calling coach. Shit, Andy Reid was a quarterback coach. He wasn't even the play caller in Green Bay. So, again, stability at that position is important.
You're right, man. You are 100% right. By the way, one other topic before I get out of here I wanted you to hit on with you. I don't want to go everybody in the chat's going to be all upset, but I do think it's worth talking about is that the political ad thing. You were ahead of the game yesterday on the show. You said yesterday on the show that you were learning that it did come from inside the organization. And, look, I don't care who you vote for. I'm not here to tell you who to vote for.
That's not what we do here.
Right. But I am reporting on the team, and you have a PR department that basically lied about it. And, that the guy did work for the organization. I said it when it happened. I'm like,
or does. No, he still does.
Well, no, I said because I work with graphics all day, right? Like I make thumbnails and I do a bunch of stuff with graphics. And I'm looking at that ad and I'm like, That's exactly the graphic style that the Eagles use. That's the font. That's everything. Like that looks like it came right from the Eagles. And then you said on your show yesterday that you think it did come from an employee inside the organization. And now I'm talking to John, and I won't say everything because it was off the record, and John asked me to keep it off the record. But yeah, I mean, Big Sills was right yesterday, everybody. So
let me ask you something. Do you think that organization is an organization where some guy goes rogue? Or do you think that that thing is controlled by every single person that's inside that organization?
Right.
Let me say this to you, dude.
Tough to believe somebody would go rogue.
Nick Sirianni has to ask Howie and Jeffrey Lurie to wipe his ass. And you're telling me that this kid's using fonts and the website, PhiladelphiaEagles.com/vote. Are you really telling me that that guy just went out of school and just went like this, Xander? Hey, you know what? They'll be all right. I mean, you know what? They gave me autonomy. When that department also answers to the owner box.
No, you're right. You're right. So look, like I said, I don't care who you vote for. I don't care what your politics is. You're welcome here on JAKIB. So it's not about that. It's just analyzing what happened.
It's about alienating half your fan base.
Well, I think it's about when you're lied to as a fan base. I think you're owed at least, if you're not going to get an explanation from the organization, I think you're at least owed us talking about it and recognizing it for what it is. And I think that's what the organization has done here, and they continue to do that. So it goes to the point. Don't always believe what they tell you,
But
especially
remember, the Liars Club led by Bob Lang is a guy who you have to
he's the leader of it all. He's the first one who came out and disputed it, and now he's got the shitstorm on his hands even bigger. So
Xander,
I don't feel bad for him.
I knew him from San Francisco. He did the same shit in San Francisco when he was out there, and this is the same guy that calls you and your pop-up about me all the time. And then guess what? He's got to sit here and fight this bullshit.
Bob Lang's a jerk off. He's a jerk off.
He doesn't mind lying to the fans. That's why you always have to take, like you said at those press conferences, now you have to take everything with a grain of salt. You know what's funny, Xander? Your network and having me on it, I can't believe that what Angelo said yesterday or the day before, whatever it was, he goes like this: Philadelphia sports media is not what it once was. Because people would be all over this bullshit.
Yep, it's so true. It's
they
so
would be
true, man.
Hammering the Eagles for this.
And look, that's why, people, look, that's why I'm proud to have your show on our network, Sales, because it's not about me wanting to go against the narrative. It's about me wanting to, I'm not going to silence Dan because he speaks about the Eagles in ways that the Eagles don't want. Think about that, everybody. Do you really want a bunch of guys who will only tell you what the team wants you to hear? I mean, then we're going to
have that already in WIP.
I know, in WIP. So look, I don't like echo chambers, and Sills breaks the echo chamber down, and the team hates it. They do. They call us all the time. Bob being one of them, probably the most consistent caller. And so I wear it as a badge of honor that this show is still on the air after 4 years. That the people. I mean, look at how many people we have watching us right now, almost 500 watching us on YouTube. The people are what make it a success. It's not about us. It's about the people. It's about the show that Dan provides, and I'm proud of it. I really am. I'm proud of it.
So which team with the $500 million quarterback and $500 million receiver has the most pressure to win? Because they all pretty much are getting $50 million. I think it's got more in Philadelphia. You know why? The fans demand it more. I think when you look around in San Francisco, I think that's a pretty good fan base and an underrated fan base in San Francisco. But I'll tell you what, the one thing that I've learned about the Eagle fans, they are going to be quick to love you, and they are going to be quick to kick you in the face if you do things wrong. But if you do things right, you'll be revered. To me, there's no gray area in Philly. There's gray area in every single fan bases around the country, maybe outside of Boston, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Green Bay, San Fran. Some places like that have those great fan bases. I think Pittsburgh's in that room too. But, dude, there's no gray area here. You're either good or you're not. Some places spend $50 million and don't give a shit. Look at David Tepper in Carolina. The guy doesn't have a problem spending money. He has a problem firing coaches. He doesn't care. But here, you care. I mean, I think that's market related, Xander.
No, you're right. I think you're right. Yep.
All right, man. Xander, thank you so much, my friend. I can't thank you enough. You and John are doing. Hey, by the way, boy, I'll tell you something, man. I got to give one thing, and I got to say this to you. Make sure you pass it on to John McMullen. John is fair and balanced. And I didn't really think that at first.
Yeah, no,
I got to tell you, and plus at those press conferences, the players acknowledge him. They go to him. I'll tell you what, man, you got to hand it to JAKIB. I don't know where you found him, but boy, I'll tell you what, he's got a place in that room there with them. And kudos to John, man. He does a great job. And you know what? He'll call it like it is.
Yeah,
he may
John's
have a
great.
different style than I do.
Yeah,
but
no,
I'll tell you what.
That's all right though. Look, I mean, I think we have a great setup right now with the three guys who are prominent on our channel. That's you, as one of the greatest talk show hosts I've ever. Well, no, but I truly believe from a pure. I think a lot of people care so much about what you say. Sometimes they don't appreciate how good you do. To come on the screen for 4 hours and talk to you guys every day. This is one of the most talented sports talkers. Forget sports talk show host in the world. And to have him here on JAKIB is an honor. And then you have John McMullen, who's your objective analyst of the football team, who knows more about the team than anybody, who gives you the truth. Like I say, if you listen to Birds 365, you're the most educated fan out there. And then, me, I'm an Eagles fan. I'm up and coming in this. I love talking to you. I love talking to Johnny Mac.
I think it's a great
dynamic. I think it's a great dynamic. And I love our JAKIB family. I love all of our chatters. I appreciate all you guys in the chat. I see you right now, but
I got to tell you, man,
it's good, man. I love it.
You especially, Xander, have come so far. Like, dude, I'd only put them on. Get this, folks. I'd only put them on 2 times a week because I'm like, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Now you get some of the most viewed. When we have our segment, it's one of the most viewed segments we have, and it's one of the bigger viewed segments, and it will be a continued segment. You bring a fan element to it, and you're becoming a broadcaster too in the same process. You know how hard that is to keep that balance of being a fan and also having broadcasting in it. Pretty good stuff, dude. I'll be looking forward to it tomorrow. That's enough glazing because I know that he'll start throwing up in his mask.
Yeah,
so that's enough of it here.
Listen, I'll glaze. I don't care. Sometimes listen, if nobody else is going to do it, I'll do it for my own people. So you know what? I hear you, but I don't really care. I love Big Sills. I love Johnny Mac. I love the people that watch this program, that watch this network, and that make it all happen. So if that's what it's going to be called, glazing, I'll take the glaze tag for a little bit.
You got it, brother. We'll catch you tomorrow. We're getting closer and closer to kickoff. Tomorrow, NFL kicks off, and we're days out now, a couple days out from the Packers and the Eagles. Xander will catch you on Birds 365 tomorrow.
Appreciate you, Sil. See you, everybody. Love all y'all in the chat. Thank you.
You guys were fantastic. We so appreciate it. Hit those likes, guys. Do me a favor. Give me an update on where we are in the likes because I'd like to see if we can get, by the way, at the bottom of the hour, Philly 500 is going to join us, so we will have him on with us, and we'll get his take. You talk about an ultimate fan, and he does a spectacular job as well, so please hit that like button. 189. Let's see if we can get that bad puppy to 250 by the top of the hour. I'd love to see if we can get that. I appreciate you guys very much. Do me a favor. Hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
as long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Rolling down the shore. Have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wildwood day.
Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
Imagine for a moment that you went to work today and when you came home, you were catastrophically injured. Your life and your family's life. That's what happened to union construction worker Mike Little.
I was scared of what the end was going to be, but to be 100% honest with you, I knew I was going to be all right just by talking with Brian. In my heart, I just knew everything was going to be all right.
Call the firm and find out why they say, "We got this." Call 215-458-2222.
Michael Vick at BetUS.com. Catch an incredible 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS, my online sportsbook and casino.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Big sales. Hit the like button. Appreciate it, guys. You guys are great. Wow, 221 already. Fantastic. Let's see if we can get that bad puppy to 300. I can't. Hey, listen, guys. Those are really nice words by Xander, and I get it. I've had a lot of people say that to me. It was never about being the best and one of the greatest sports talkers. You know what it was really about? You know why I got into this business? Because I always felt that I wanted to be close to the game, which meant I had to be close to the fans, because the fans make sports, Olympics, football, what have you. Just because we disagree, I don't have a hatred for you. I actually have an appreciation, because you know why? You come here every day. I may say something that you think that I'm shitting on you, but it's like when a coach used to shit on me. I'm back tomorrow trying to learn something. My coach would get in my ass all the time. Okay, but at the end of the day, you know, it was talking sports and we're doing what have you. Listen, again, I can't do this without you. And as you grow the program, I'll forever be in your debt. And I'm going to say one last thing here about this. And I've never said this in 4 years. And I mean this. Twiz, Prince, you saved my career. You saved my career. I've never said that to you guys. You saved it. I am blacklisted. Do you understand this? I was supposed to host the Jim Rome show about 2 years ago. And CBS came down and Odyssey came down. And they blacklisted me. I was blacklisted. I have been blacklisted from radio. A platform I was on for 24 years. And as you can see, one of the better ones in the history of the platform. I was blackballed for shit that people said I said. Now, did I say some stupid shit? Absolutely. Well, you're on the air for 34 years. You're going to say something dumb. Should I say something dumb every day? I do. Oh, Outcast? Absolutely. Dude, you got people at NBC Philadelphia telling their host and WIP, you're not allowed to come on my program. Imagine, and I've never met these people. I've never met them. Never. I don't know anybody at NBC Philly. Get this, and I've worked for the company that owns 97.5. I've worked for Beasley. I've worked for Odyssey. They're the people that put that shit out there about racist, being a racist. They did it. I didn't. Did I say something that was inappropriate? Yeah. Does that define me? No. So when Xander says those things, I got to tell you, and I'm going to end it here. I don't do enough glazing here. But this show saved my career. And I'm climbing back up. When you get the Philadelphia Eagles complaining about you, you know what Angelo said? Congratulations. You're climbing back up Mount Everest again. You have to understand, I was dead. I got radio equipment over here that's been silent for 3 years. You want to hear something too? I was supposed to go on that station. What's that guy's name, Xander? I'm friends with him. He follows me on Twitter. Tony Bruno goes on. Kaya, whatever his name is. He went to his company and said, I want to put Sileo on. They said, you can't. You can't. So you know. You're talking to a guy who's been blacklisted in radio. All right, stop with the mushy stuff. It's not you, Sills. But thank you for being honest anyways. I'll shut the fuck up. Okay. All right. Hey, fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Holy cow. I could not wait. Okay. I could not wait. Wait a minute here. By the way, guys, please hit the like button here. Sills, I disagree with you almost 90% of your takes, but I show up every day. You know what that means to me? A ton. And you know what, too? Means something else? Philly 500 has such a great and large audience that you know what he does? This guy respects me, likes me, and comes on my show. And I can't tell you, he helps me too. He thinks that he helps me. And I'm forever grateful to him. And I don't say enough to him about that, finding time to come on the program and do this. Without further ado, I think I need to kick myself in the nuts or something here. I don't know what it is here, but let's bring in Mr. Gabagool. Let's bring him in.
Hey.
Here we are, a couple days out, brother.
Where's Mark Holmes? Is he violating his contract, or is he just not able to get back up off the floor after I've knocked him out week after week after week?
I think it's more so than this. That I think he's been dacked.
He ain't making it through the year. He's going to have a nervous breakdown. I'm convinced.
Can I tell you that I didn't reach out to him, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm getting tired of him not having a response. Every time we say, "What happens in the playoffs?" I mean, it's becoming redundant, isn't it? I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I actually felt sorry for it, and I went, so what do I want to do? 40 minutes, kick his ass? I don't know if I want to do that. I mean, dude, that team won't win 5 games.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watching them lose a lot this year. It's one of the highlights of my year.
I'm going to throw this out to you right now, and let's get your take because I posted this here. Okay. So, according to some of the folks in my realm, Devin White was told on Tuesday he was not going to be starting. All of a sudden, we now have, including Jeff McClain, saying that Nakobe Dean had beaten him out, and it was going to be Zach Bond, and it was going to be Nakobe Dean starting against the Packers. And all of a sudden, he comes up with an ankle injury. He's not even on the plane heading to Brazil. And on top of that, there were murmurs of them trying to trade him, according to Albert Breer, prior to cutdown day. So give me your spin on this here, because, boy, I'll tell you what, here's some more drama going into the game on Friday, and you're really kind of limited a little bit in personnel going into that game at the linebacker position.
It caught me off guard, to be honest with you. I mean, I hadn't heard of anything about him losing his starting job.
McClain reported that Vic had said to him that
I saw I only saw that after the fact that he was going to be out and wasn't traveling with the team. But leading up to that, I mean, if you look at every practice, I was live almost every practice. He was always with the ones. So kind of a surprise. I mean, are you saying you don't think he's actually like really hurt? You think he's actually just being a baby?
I think that they came up with an excuse not to take him down to Brazil. And I say this, if you could have a fake injury for Anais Smith to put him on IR, which they did, and all of a sudden you have a situation like this, and believe me, this is the stuff that happened to him in Tampa. 500. This is the stuff that he did in Tampa. He bitched and moaned about it, and they deactivated him and put that UDFA in, and they played that kid Kenny Britton or whatever the guy's name is, KJ Britton, the rest of the season, and that's how he lost his gig down there.
That's a huge disappointment for me. I was really high on Devin White. I thought the change of scenery would do a lot for him. So I was high on him coming to the Eagles. And even if he can't play or he's hurt or he's not starting, I don't understand why he shouldn't be with the team. Like, okay, you're not starting, so what? You still got to be a backup. We still need you. It's hard for me to believe that he's all of a sudden they're just holding him out to hold him out. If that's the case, then he's not going to be here much longer. He won't make it through the year on this roster. They'll get rid of him.
I'm wondering what his future is. I mean, we're going to know more next week, I would think, right?
I guess. I mean, the Albert Breer thing too. Like, you trying to trade him? Yeah, I didn't see any of that coming. But it does concern me though, because you've got no veteran presence really at that linebacking spot. So if you're going to let him go, you got to bring somebody else in. I like the young talent that they have, but they're young. They got to go out and play and prove it. So a lot of questions all of a sudden at linebacker. It's kind of a weird turn of events, to be honest.
Okay, let's go on to this one. Let me give you another little tidbit that I heard and that I saw, and that I kind of got a heads up prior to them getting on the airplane of what the depth chart is. How about this one here? Now, I'm not reporting that he is, but I'm telling you what I saw. Keely Ringo's at cornerback 2, not Isaiah Rodgers. And they got him there because here, the Packer wide receivers are awful talented and awful big dudes. They're physical guys. Okay, so you think Vic's, and by the way, the reason that Mitchell's not out there is because even Vic said in the last press conference, Philly, he goes like this. He goes, well, he's going to be out there because we need him in the slot. And he's going to be out there 70% of the time. He's going to play corner too. I think he's their most versatile secondary guy. And I take Vic at that he's going to play across the board and probably have the most reps, but they need him in other positions. So, with all that being said, would you be shocked if Keely Ringo's out there instead of Isaiah Rodgers?
No, I mean, I guess it's possible.
I think it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, I don't know. He's also got a hurt hand, so I don't know what his situation with his hand is. But I mean, it wouldn't surprise me whatever they do at the secondary, because they were floating these guys in and out all training camp. I'm assuming Rodgers is going to play, but if Ringo goes in there, I think that's okay. I think he'll be fine, to be honest with you. I actually like Ringo a lot.
Okay, let me throw this at you here. What'd you make about Darius Slay and him crying about going into Brazil, and now all of a sudden he apologized yesterday, and he was coming up because here's my issue with that. You got a leader. Gary Cobb said it too. You got a leader in your secondary who's also captain of your football team, and he's bitching and moaning about going and playing in Brazil. Dude, you got young players on that football team. Don't you think he's got to act more like a leader? Or is it a nothing burger to you?
No, it's probably shouldn't have said it, but it's a nothing burger. I didn't want them to go to Brazil either.
I don't either.
Why would you want to go to Brazil? I don't think any of those players went, from C.J. Gardner-Johnson to Devontae Smith. But yeah, I mean, probably to be supporting the team and going there. Yeah, you probably shouldn't say it, but it's still the truth. It is what it is. It's the truth. And he let the bag out, and that's it. Once it's out of the bag, I don't think you could put it back in. So to me, I would have more problem with him apologizing after just saying, you already said, don't apologize. You said it.
Let's do here. Here's another one for you. Who has the advantage at quarterback on Friday? And let me throw these out to you here. Last year, Love, 41-59, 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. He went 10-9 counting the playoffs, beating the Cowboys in Dallas to go on to the divisional round. Hurts last year, 38-58, 23 touchdowns, 15 picks. He was 11-8, and they got beat in the playoffs in the wild card round by the Buccaneers. Going into this football game, who, in your opinion, and by the way, before you answer, I don't think it's a style point thing here. So whatever style you might like, I don't think the difference is like this. I think it's more like this. You know what I mean? I mean, I think it's razor thin here. How do you look at this matchup?
Yeah, I think it's pretty thin because I think that both these teams are going up against defenses that they're going to be able to move the ball on. I expect a high-scoring game. I think both secondary. I like Jair Alexander, but after him, I think you can move the ball on them. I think you can also run the ball on them. So I think quarterback-wise, I think it's pretty even because I think both defenses will get the ball moved on them a lot.
I like that take, and I do think you're dead on with that too because – but then let me separate this. And I was talking this with Xander here. Most teams have about 65 plays a game. Give me your formula, what you think the Eagles are going to do in this game on Friday. How many passes and how many runs? Because I think this is going to dictate how they're going to win this ball game. Because I'll bury the lead with you. If they throw the ball too much, they're going to lose.
Right.
Because he can't win games without using his wheels. And in the last 3 years, Philly, Jalen Hurts has over 320 carries. Just want you to know that. So how many carries do you think it's going to be between Hurts, Barkley, Gainwell, maybe Shipley, and how many passes you think he throws in this game on Friday?
See, me personally, I think what I want is not what they're going to do. But I haven't seen enough of Kellen Moore. I think you need to come out in this game and you need to feature Barkley heavy. You haven't played a lot of reps in preseason. You haven't done a lot there. So come out, run Barkley, get guys kind of, into a rhythm and things like that. So if it was me, I would be closer to 50-50. But I don't think it'll be that. I think it'll be somewhere around 60-40 pass to run ratio.
I think if they get north of 40, I think they lose. If they stay around 35, but then again, there's no way they're going to run the ball 30 times. There's just no way. They're going to run
combined 30 carries. I think it'll be. I think it could be close. I think Barkley has around 20 touchdowns.
Wow.
I think.
It's also going to dictate. It's also going to dictate
7.
It's also going to dictate. It's probably going to dictate flow of the game too, as well. Like if you're behind.
Well, if I'm the Eagles, I run the ball. I mean, come out and run the ball. You got Barkley. Unleash Barkley early. You haven't played, like I said, all preseason. Plus, you keep that offense off the field. To me, I would do that. I would come out and especially early in the year. My formula would be heavy Barkley early in the year. Let my defense adjust. And then as they adjust and things start getting better on defense, I start throwing more. That's what I would do. But, I don't know. I haven't seen enough of Kellen Moore, even though, he was with Dallas, to know what he's planning.
See, and like, I like what you said too there also, because Kellen Moore doesn't have Dak. That's not Dak's skill set. That quarterback looks nothing like Prescott. There's nothing that's remotely close to them. So when people go, well, you know what? I mean, what's he going to look like? I don't know what he's going to look like. I have no idea. But if you go with what they did in Dallas, and I'm going to take Yale's comment here, I think Barkley's impact in this game is going to be pass protection and also catching passes in this game. And I think those checkdowns are going to be used kind of as small intermediate runs.
Well, and I think that if you can hit Barkley, especially with the blitz, because teams are going to blitz the Eagles. They're going to keep blitzing Hurts. I think that opens up the little dump offs to Barkley where you could get big yards underneath. And that's not something that they did last year, which I never understood with DeAndre Swift why they wouldn't throw to him more too. So,
Let me ask you this one here. A couple more here, if you don't mind. You cool? A couple more?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, here we go. How much pressure do you believe is on Jalen Hurts to get out to a strong start in 2024?
I think there's pressure on the Eagles. I think there's pressure on him, of course. I mean, after the way the season ended last year, yeah, you've got to assume that there's pressure for him. You got a lot of weapons. You got a better running back than you had. You got a more experienced coordinator. There's definitely pressure. How much? A lot. I think a lot.
I mean, the one thing that they have to do in this game, in my opinion, against the Packers, I don't even know if it's putting up a ton of yards. It can't turn the ball over, man. They've got to show two things for me on offense: blitz pickup and also not turning the football over. Philly, if they can't do that, boy, they're going to be a lot of screaming when it comes Monday if those guys can't do those two things.
Yeah, well, of course. And what I'm telling you, who's going to get killed if they lose this game, and especially let's say because of turnovers and sloppy play, it's going to be Nick Sirianni. The coach is going to get killed because he didn't play these guys at all, and that's what everybody's going to go to. Well, they didn't play. Of course, they make mistakes, sloppy. That's what people are going to look at. So, to me, if I'm the Eagles, man, I use Barkley. I take advantage of Barkley. Barkley hasn't played with an offense like this before. I say unleash him early and do that. And I do think on the defensive side of the ball, I think that the guy you got to watch out for the Eagles, I think is going to have a monster game is Jalen Carter. I think he can do damage in that interior line of that Green Bay Packers game. And if he's getting damage, that could cause Love to turn over the ball, fumble the ball. And so hopefully, it'll go that way.
You mentioned Sirianni. How about this one here? Isn't it crazy? I brought this up with Xander. Nothing he can do on Friday is a win for him. If Kellen Moore and the Eagles put up 40 points against the Packers, everyone's going to go, look what last year was. It was Brian Johnson and Nick Sirianni, and he was the cancer. And look at Hurts and how he's playing. But if they turn around and play shitty, it's going to come down on what you said, and the cancer's still in the locker room, and it's Nick and some of the things that you mentioned, even though I think it's organizationally where that was a decision that was made. Nick can't win on Friday. Have you ever seen anything like it where no matter what they could, if they win by 40 points, he looks bad.
Yeah, well, because everybody's going to assume it's the offensive coordinator. This is the issue we went back to, talking about this in February. Like, why do you keep him? Or do you really want to keep him? It's like he's in a no-win situation. He has to kind of tuck his tail between his legs and come back, right? Doug Peterson said, nah, forget this, I'm gone. Nick did what he did. He came back, and now you're in a situation where they're going to be putting out stories. The beat writers are going to be putting out stories about what great job Nick Sirianni's done. He's not going to get any credit. It's just the way the situation has been set up. So, yeah, I think a no-win situation for him. I really do.
Finally, I have to ask you, how do you see this thing playing out Friday? Who wins the ball game, and what do you have with a score?
A high-scoring game. I agree.
I think too. I do. I'm with you there.
I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Like I said, I think fourth quarter late, Jalen Carter makes a big play, gets a turnover. Eagles get the ball in Green Bay's side of the field, and the Eagles win this game 31-28. There you go.
Game ball goes to Jalen Carter, in your opinion.
There you go. And my man Saquon, 165 yards and 2 touchdowns.
What?
Get ready.
What?
Right. Mark it down.
How many sacks for Huff?
165 yards.
How many sacks for Huff?
A half.
Wait a minute. Does Nakobe Dean finish the game?
Yes, 10 tackles.
Oh my! Wait a minute. Nakobe Bednarik Dean.
Yes. Concrete Dean. There you go.
Concrete Dean. Oh, wait. Concrete 2 Dean. There he is. Concrete 2. Holy shit. You and Xander goes, it's Concrete Season 2. It's Nakobe Dean, baby. It's time for him to step up. It is time for him to step up, though, isn't it?
It is. It is. He's got to stay healthy, and he's got to step up. This is going to be a high-scoring game. I really think the defense, for the most part, is going to be – both sides are going to be getting yards thrown and run on all day. But I think late in the game, I could see Jalen Carter, somebody just making that play, taking advantage of an opportunity. So,
how many touchdowns does Jalen throw for?
2.
How many does he run for?
I'm going to say 0.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I'm going to say Barkley gets those carries.
Barkley, and you're saying Barkley has probably what, 2 TDs?
2 touchdowns, yeah.
And 100 and what?
65 yards.
I love it. Billy, tell the folks where they can find you, man. That's
just type in Philly 500.
Absolutely. Or you could just put on there the ownership of Mark Holmes.
That's it.
And that'll take you right there, too,
That's
man.
right.
I appreciate it, brother. Thank you so much for doing this. And I really can't thank you enough for you coming aboard here, man. Thank you, brother.
Of course. Thank you, man. Thanks.
You got it. The great Philly 500. Make sure you check his great workout. We so appreciate it. Concrete Dean. There it is, baby. That's the new video. Concrete Dean. By the way, Laura Lomer is going to come on tomorrow. And I didn't realize until somebody told me that she's a heavyweight, like in the political world. And she's going to come on and give us, can't today, but will tomorrow. All right. So we're going to find out about some of those things that are going on inside the Eagle brass with those posters. So, okay. Holy cow. Philly 500 loves Laura Lomer. Well, she's coming on tomorrow. Okay. Yep. She's coming on tomorrow. So we're going to have a full pack show tomorrow on that. I didn't know who she was really until I started doing some research, and I'm like, look at Yale. Yale, you expose yourself all the time when you know that you're a liberal, and I could tell. Yale, all good. I'll tell you what, I love your football takes and I love your sports takes. Okay? I do, man. I love your takes. I'll be there. Very good. All right. Hit that like. Where are we now in the like button? By the way, everybody wants to come on the Sill Show. Okay, everyone. She says, yeah, I'd love to come on. He goes, I really don't do a lot of that, but I will. How you doing? All right. Hit the like button. 252. Come on, guys. Let's see if we can get 40 more. I'd like to see if we can get to like around 330 by the end of the program here. I still got a topic that I've saved for you. You know what it is? Eagle defense versus Packer offense. What I think needs to happen on defense against that Packer offense. We're going to reset again at the top of the hour. Okay? Hit that like button. Do me a favor. Keep it here, National Football Show.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
as long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Heading down the shore. Have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wildwood days.
Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
Imagine for a moment that you went to work today and when you came home, you were catastrophically injured. Your life and your family's life. That's what happened to union construction worker Mike Little.
I was scared of what the end was going to be, but to be 100% honest with you, I knew I was going to be all right just by talking with Brian. In my heart, I just knew everything was going to be all right.
Call the firm and find out why they say, "We got this." Call 215-458-2222.
Michael Vick at BetUS.com. Catch an incredible 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS, my online sportsbook and casino.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Big Sills National Football Show. How you doing? Hey, DeMar Hamlin's going to start against Arizona this weekend. This guy died twice on a football field. And now he's going to start against the Arizona Cardinals for the Buffalo Bills. Cool. What a great story. Shows you something, too, about a guy. DeMar Hamlin didn't have to play ever again, okay? Compensation would have paid him. Catastrophic injury like that, he would have been paid for the rest of his life with all of his benefits. Having something like that happen to him on a field. Dying twice. Players getting physically sick in Cincinnati. And he's going to be starting versus the Arizona Cardinals. I'll say something to you here, man. If I was young, when you're young like that, if I were to ever die on a football field, I couldn't think of a better place. I couldn't think of a better place. You got to give your heart and soul and love for that game. I couldn't think of a better place. Doing something you love, no matter what it is. Dying for what you love is not a bad thing. Is it scary? Yes. Nothing wrong with that. Okay? Nothing wrong with saying what I just said. People all the time die doing what they love. Okay? I mean, kudos to him. What a storyline. DeMar Hamlin, back from the death, starting his first football game in 2 years against the Arizona Cardinals. Kudos. We're going to get a little bit of an update here on Laura Lomer. Let's see here. Okay, we'll know more here in a minute when time she's coming on tomorrow. So we're looking forward to that. Yeah, because she definitely, it's one of the biggest stories going on right now inside of the city of Philadelphia. So we'll see what happens there. So CBS came out with their most valuable player predictions. I'm going to take what I do is I'm going to take their 5 predictions, their top 5, and I'm going to take their 5 and I'll put them in my own order. So they have Mahomes 1, Josh Allen number 2. They have Joe Burrow, number 3. DJ Stroud. This is for the MVP, number 4. And then Jalen Hurts, number 5. here's the Big Sills report to CBS. Number 1, MVP, Josh Allen. Number 2, Patrick Mahomes. Number 3, Joe Burrow. Number 4, CJ Stroud. And number 5, not my 5, but a retort to CBS. Jalen mediocre Hurts at number 5. Or not mediocre, average at number 5. Hey, did you ever think of this? Jesus criminy. With all that talent, he should be good. How good is he? He ain't that good. With talent like that, he should be throwing for 5,000 yards. Not 3,800 yards and 22 touchdowns. Don't you think? Don't you think a quarterback with all that talent should be doing more? Don't you think? Just a question. What would here, let's do this. What would play with me here. Play with me here. Wait a minute. What kind of numbers do you think Mahomes would put up with that offense in Philly? How many yards? What yards would he put up? How many yards do you think he'd put up? $6,000? 6,000? How many touchdowns? 55? Right? Jameson Smith goes 5,000. He puts 5,000 up with Juju Smith-Schuster. He put up 6,000 yards. 4,900? What are you talking about? 4,900. He does that now. He does. Justin Herbert would probably throw for 5,800 yards. Let's see who else. Burrow would throw for about 6,000 yards too. Yeah. They throw for about 60 touchdowns too. Jalen throws for 22. I don't know. I mean, don't you think you should expect more numbers from the quarterback? Dude, your receivers are putting it up. The receivers have great numbers. How come the quarterback doesn't? Marcus thinks that Patrick Mahomes would put up 4,200 yards in Philly. He puts up 4,600 now with receivers that don't have 1,000 yards. When's the last time Patrick Mahomes played with a 1,000-yard receiver? Huh? Did I miss where Jordan Love is ranked? No, I told you I went with CBS's. Those aren't mine. Mine was a retort to CBS's. Okay? 4,500. 500 rushing. Wait a minute. Gatekeeper. So wait a minute here. It says ridiculous fake numbers. Let's see here what Jordan. How about this? Let's do this. What did Patrick Mahomes throw for last year without a 1,000-yard back and out any wide receivers over 800 yards? Let me see. Okay. Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes stats. Let's see here. So last year, he threw. Oh, no, how about this one? This is even better. The 2022 year that he beat you in the Super Bowl, when they only had Juju Smith-Schuster, he threw for 5,250 yards and 41 touchdowns with no 1,000-yard receiver, no 1,000-yard running back. And, of course, all of that is because of Travis Kelce. Okay. Yeah, sure, okay. Tush push took away TD passes and numbers from Hurts. Oh, man, that's so funny. The tush push took away from touchdowns on 4th and 1 from the 50. Okay. All right. Yeah, sure. Okay. The tush push took yards and I'd say it took more turnover. I mean, I think it helped him in not having more turnovers. Can you imagine what a passing quarterback would do with that talent? Yeah. Man. Queasy. Honestly, I want to see a normal quarterback sneak, not tush pushes. Hey, Forrest, a tush push was an important part of the offense. You started every series 9 yards instead of 10 yards. You were first and 9 because of that tush push. That thing's gone away. There ain't no tush push. That ain't happening. That's not happening. If you're not going to run them in a normal setting, you're not going to run them tush push. Goodbye. Hit the like button. All right. One more time, we're going to reset here. And then we're going to get into Eagles offense versus Packers. Actually, the Eagle defense versus the Packers offense. We opened the program up by telling you this. Dynasty? Hey, Marcus, you got to win one first. Dynasty? Hey, I saw that Dynasty on display against the Buccaneers in a playoff game. How you doing? Look real good. Baker Mayfield kicked your ass. That's some Dynasty. You get worked over by Baker Mayfield. Get worked over by Baker Mayfield, who was on his 4th team in 3 years. How you doing? See here. Whatever. Do you think other quarterbacks could throw for 4K if they only threw it towards the numbers? Sounds tough. Good take. Good take. Yeah. Good take. Okay, good take. All right. Bama's only real dynasty. No, the Patriots was the real dynasty. What's wild? It's Nakobe Dean season? That's a wild take. You know what a wild take is? Nakobe Dean, SCN. That's a crazy take. I think the kid sucks, but Nakobe season. Concrete to Dean. Okay. And as we reported earlier and opened the program up, we said it flat out that Devin White was beat out by Nakobe Dean. And then Jeff McClain came out and verified that he was not starting in that game against the Packers on Friday, no matter what anyway, whether or not he had this infamous ankle injury. Okay, here's an organization that manufactured an injury for Aniyah Smith. You don't think they'll do one again? Here's an organization that lies to you about counterfeit posters. You don't think they'll lie to you about this? Stop giving the Eagles the benefit of the doubt when it comes to truth. They don't tell the truth. Why are you consistently buying into that? NFL teams lie to their fans and the media people. Stop believing them. What is your problem? Use your own judgment. How many times do I have to tell you? They will never tell you the truth. You have to simply take the information that you get from people and come up with your own rhyme and reason of why you think someone's doing it. Don't ever let anybody tell you a report from the Eagles when the Eagles don't even tell their people the truth. They love to lie to you all day. All day. I mean, why? You get mad at me for saying this. Oh, by the way, you can't say what we're saying here on the radio. You can't. This is the only show that can say this. Okay? Are you trying to come up with a way to believe the Eagles and you don't think they lie to you, folks? They've been lying to you. Dude, I've never covered a team where the fan base has been fed bullshit for the last 35 years. And I've had to be the one to be the big, bad, big sills to tell you the way it is. They are never going to, the NFL doesn't tell you the truth. Do you actually really believe the NFL gave a shit about Colin Kaepernick? No. They didn't care. They'll let all of the minorities that follow the sport think that they're all high and mighty and being all activists in the society and citizenship and all that. They'll go behind the scenes and go, get that guy out of here. Give him $20 million. Here's $20 million to get the hell out of our face. Go away. Oh, yeah, we believe in minority advancement. Yeah, how's that Rooney Rule doing? How's that Rooney Rule doing? Just checking. Okay? Pandering. I'm telling you the truth about your fucking Eagles and the NFL. They lie to you. Pandering. How you using examples, guy? I'm using examples. Tell you the truth. If the government will lie to you, you don't think the Eagles will? I can't wait to get Laura Lomer on tomorrow to talk about what's going on, really. Sills, just look at the stats and saw Packers had at least 4 receivers to be able to put up 400 yards in a season while the Eagles literally only gave it to 2 receivers. They need to distribute the offense. Absolutely. Hey, think about that. Everybody got fed. Well, I should say this. Wait a minute. Smith and AJ got fed. The rest of them didn't. Senor goes, everyone lies. Even Sills. What do I lie about? Why in the fuck would I lie to you, Senor? What is the reason to lie to you? You must really, really hold yourself in a high regard that I would lie to you. Where in the world do you think that I would lie? Why would I do that? What's the end game? Dude, I don't lie to people. I don't. You know why? That's why I have been blacklisted. I don't lie to people. I don't lie. I don't have to. Okay? The only people I truly give a shit that care about me are my aunt, my family, my daughter, and my wife. If you think I lie to you, sure. But people are not, when it comes to lying, that important to me. You are not that important to lie to. That's everyone. Honest to God, man. I'm not. I don't give a fuck about that shit. Lying to some dude in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Or Pennsauken, New Jersey. Really? Good night. Some of you guys really hold yourselves in a high regard. Senor, I love you. Okay, I do. But please, man, got to understand something. Lying? Why would I lie to people that, hey, Senor, let me ask you one thing. I get your trolling. I get it. But, hey, Senor, let me ask you one thing. You come here every day to watch my show, and I love you for it. Why would I lie to you when you have so much respect for me? Senor, you don't really realize this. Andreas, too. Twiz, James Jones. I don't lie to people that come here every day and support us. It's not what I do. Because the first time I start lying to you is the last time you watch me. Senor, I know you're kidding. Not you, the real Zeal. Not you. You don't count. Yeah. Hey, ain't that the truth? Hey. And by the way, Forrest, I had a great conversation with Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee goes, I'm only here for the 18 million. Hey, I get this. The only reason I'm here is for the 18 million. I go, yeah, because that company hates your guts, dude. They don't like you. Okay. Oh, look at this. Big Sills, the Eagles honesty broker. Hit the like button on that one. Big Sills, the honesty broker. Yeah. Yeah. Kind of wearing on me now. Big Sills, the honesty broker. Sills, I'm stuck in traffic. Give me something good. All right. Madness, I will. Sills remembers you to Washington to die. Did I cry? Hey. Madness, I'll give you something good. Ready? Madness wants, he's in traffic. Hey, Madness, where are you in traffic right now? Please don't tell me you're on 95. Because I don't know if I have a story long enough for that. Hey, I don't know if I have a story long enough if you're on traffic in 95 right now. Okay, Sills went to ESPN, they'd fire him. Absolutely. I wouldn't last a week. I wouldn't last a week. Hey, Madness is on 95. Good grief. 280 North Jersey. Holy shit. Don't tell me that. Hey, Madness. Don't tell me that bridge that the drunk sailor hit or whatever has something to do with you having to go around that. You have to go around that thing? Holy cow, man. That Baltimore Bridge has affected all that shit up there. Oh, man, I feel, dude, I feel for you, dude. That sucks. Big ones, man. That does. That sucks big ones. All right, I'll give you something good. Keely Ringo may be starting for the Eagles at corner. I can't confirm it yet. Okay, I can't confirm it. But it could be starting at corner out there because I got a depth chart. Okay, and I saw Keely Ringo's name on it. Then ESPN, as I was on the air, posted a depth chart that they had too. And it's got Keely Ringo typed in there. And I was like, okay. So I didn't know. I thought Isaiah Rodgers. And I've been saying Isaiah Rodgers the whole time. Okay. Oh, get this, man. Thank you very much, man. That's really cool, Michael. I appreciate you, brother. Thank you. He's like this. Who said that? Wayne's like this. Talk about Jerome. I watched a little bit of that Minister of Defense last night. And my wife and I were watching it. We're eating. My wife goes, please turn this. Please turn this. And I didn't know. I hadn't seen like a lot of it. And it came up then when they talked about when Reggie was at that religious event and he had to tell the people of Philadelphia that Jerome died. I got a little emotional and my wife goes, hey, congratulations. Because my wife was at his funeral too. She was my girlfriend then. And I've told some of you guys, she was sitting here was Cortez Kennedy and here was Russell Maryland. And my wife's in the middle. And me and Alonzo Highsmith and Chris Carter and Clyde Simmons are sitting behind. And my wife's in tears. And Cortez and Maryland, who was with the Cowboys, and Cortez was Seattle then, are hugging my wife. And I'm going like this. I'm sitting here. And Lonzo looks over at me and goes, pretty crazy. And I'm going, I know. Yep. Handsome hustler. Thank you. Cam, a new member. Can't thank enough, man. Hey, by the way, you know one of the greatest honors I ever had? I was a pallbearer for him. I was a pallbearer at Jerome Brown's funeral. And that's something you want to be. You know? Me, Reggie, Seth, Lonzo, Mel Bratton. I can't remember. Winston Moss. Andre Waters. I think Wes Hopkins. Yeah, I think those guys. I think those were all the pallbearers when we put Jerome in the ground. Yeah. In Brooksville. It still gets brought up, man. Every year people keep bringing us up. It's really great. Let's see here. Okay, Ringo solid, but two. Hey, Matt, the reason I think they're going to start putting Ringo out there is because those Packer wide receivers are very physical and big. Okay? I'll take Stroud over Allen because of recklessness. Akbar, it's not a shitty take. Okay? Okay? I mean, that's not a shitty take. Not a shitty take. Let's see here. Imagine if Wentz had the love from the front office like Jalen has with these offensive weapons. I think he did have, dude, the one thing you got to remember about Wentz, they gave him the money. So they had to have some love for him. So when you say they wish the front office had love for him, but Mike, wait a minute. They gave him the money. Somebody liked him. Okay, somebody had to like him. Okay? Had Jerome not died, probably would have won a Super Bowl 91 through 94. God, the NFL was so good, though, Forrest. Could they have beaten the 49ers, the Giants? Who else was in that? 49ers, the Giants, and the Bears. God, look at that team that the Eagles had to fight. That gangrene team had to fight against that Bears team, which underachieved by winning only one. Washington was good too. Right, James Jones? Those years, 91, 94. Washington was still decent during that time too. Packers were just good too. Those are some, and this was pre-salary cap. So guys were on those ball clubs. Dude, the defenses that were in the era, that was my era. When you had that Bears team, that Eagle defense, the 49er defense, those are some great defensive football team. The Giant defense with Lawrence Taylor. Hey, Chuck, the Fog Bowl, Jerome told me that he couldn't see 5 feet in front of him. I had no idea where the ball was going. Nobody knew any. You could not see anything. He says it was like the weirdest thing he's ever played in. Incredible. Okay, incredible. So let me get into NFC was on fire. Early 90s. Hey, Forrest, think about this in the early 90s. Redskins, great football team. Giants, 2-time Super Bowl champion. You know, quite frankly, the only team in the early 90s that wasn't good was the Cowboys and those Eagles. And then you had in the NFC Central Division, you had the Bears. Detroit wasn't awful. 49ers had a cakewalk through the NFC West. The NFC West stunk. The only people they had to worry about were the Rams. I mean, there's a debate that Aaron Donald is better than Taylor. No, there's not. Because if anybody saw Lawrence Taylor play, Lawrence Taylor dominated every single time he stepped on a football field, even in games he lost. And let's not forget something. Lawrence Taylor played on football teams that were number one in defense. Aaron Donald, I'm not sure ever played on a team that was in the top 5. LT was the reason that those defenses were sensational. Okay? And you were going against quarterbacks that were insane great. Elway, Marino, Montana. I mean, Lawrence Taylor's the GOAT. You know what? Here, guys. Saints were good too. Absolutely, Hollywood. Saints were good too. When we used to put the old VCRs on, we get these game tapes. And we would get the game tapes and we would put them on. And you watch, it's like watching Reggie too. Reggie's the same thing. You watch Lawrence Taylor and you're like, it's just in a different speed. This guy was in a different speed next to everyone. You're like, you thought there was something wrong with the projector. You're like, it's too much. And when you watch Reggie play, that one year he played 12 games, he had 22 sacks. I think it was 85. You go back and watch some of those films. He was stupid great. Reggie White had 22 sacks in 12 games. And you were like, even Bruce Smith to this day goes, how did he do that? Do you understand? You almost have to have like 2.5 sacks a game to have that kind of number. Think about that. You have to have 2 sacks a game, 12 games, to get that number. 22 sacks in 12 ball games. It's like freaking unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. Oh, he's the greatest D lineman that's ever lived. No getting around it. And get this, Aaron Donald, Reggie White, come on. Really? Have you ever seen Aaron Donald destroy an offensive lineman like Reggie? Just pick a 350-pound guy up and throw him 5 yards. Threw him 5 yards. Like threw him. Literally threw Nate Newton 5 yards. You'd watch it on film and go like this. Shit. Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison for fantasy. I'm going to take Harrison Jr. I'll tell you why, Jameson. I think that you have a quarterback problem and probably a quarterback change by week 6 in New York. They're not getting rid of Kyler Murray. And Murray's going to be able to get the football to Harrison. Go with the quarterback stability. And what team has more of a stability when it comes to quarterbacks? That's Arizona. Arizona has more stability at QB than the New York Giants do. Forrest goes like this. Reggie White would have 25 sacks today. Yeah. You know why? When Reggie played, they threw the ball 25 times a game. Today, they throw the ball 50 times. Double the attempts, double the sacks. Reggie would never have lower than 15 sacks in today's NFL in a season. Never. So you're going to tell me you're going to give Reggie White more opportunities to rush the passer? That's scary. Your quarterback wouldn't make it with White. Man, he might rip your guy apart. You telling me you'd give Reggie White 50 attempts in a game to sack my quarterback? He might kill him. Jalen Carter had a 84.6, the highest pass rush grade out of any rookie in the NFL, in NFL history. Not even Aaron Donald did that. High expectations for Jalen. I like that, man. I have high expectations for him too. I really do. All right. What do the Eagles defense have to do against this Packers offense? Packers offense, skill set guys. Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs, Jaden Reed, and Luke Musgrave. These guys are big people. Plus you have Josh Jacobs and you have Jordan Love. There's 2 guys in this offensive line that are good. I think the rest of them are solid, not great. Okay, and I saw that too, Abe, that Dobbs is questionable. Your defense is Williams, Davis, Carter, Huff, Bond, Dean, Sweat. I'm going with Ringo. CJ, Reed, Slay, and in the slot will be Mitchell when they play a nickel defense. Mitchell will be on the field. I don't believe he's starting. Okay? Will be in. What do the Eagles defense need to do against this Packer offense? No big plays. Bond is covering Musgrave? Yes. I don't think he can either. I agreed. I don't think they're big enough. I don't think Mitchell can cover Watson. I do not. I like this take here. Where is that? I like this here. Defense needs to win third battle to win the game. Talking about third down, I'm assuming, right, Josh? Got to keep him third long. Turnovers. Talking about, okay, good. Well, here's what I wrote down. Eagles offense should be able to move. Yeah, okay. I'm actually talking about the Packers because this is the game. In my opinion, here's your game. It's the Packer offense versus the Eagle defense. Because if the Packer offense is going to be able to run up and down the field, you're not winning that game because that means you're going to have to throw to stay in the game against the Packers, and the Packers will out-throw you. That's what they do. You're more of a balanced attack. Jaws said this on WIP the other day. This is another great take. That's another great take. Folks, you're not going to be able to cover anybody because you're not going to be able to pressure them. I think you're going to have pressure issues. And you're not going to get to the quarterback because here, let me give you my, and then we'll talk about it here. Guys, please hit the like button. If the Eagles don't pressure Jordan Love, there's no chance of stopping that offense. And what I think they're going to do is quick throws, 5-step drop. Why would you do a 5-step drop versus a Vic Fangio defense? You're playing 2 eye safeties. You're playing 10 yards off the ball. Boom, boom. They're going to basically take the game plan of Sam Howell, and they're going to go underneath, and they're going to pepper you to death because he spreads the ball out. Matt LaFleur wants to spread you out immediately. Okay? If Sam Howell can do it, he's going to do it. He's a better player than Howell. And get this, it's open space. It's non-challenged. You're not going to challenge it. Second point, run game. If those linebackers, and most importantly, if Davis and Carter can't stop the run in the middle of the field, this thing's over. Because if they get up on those linebackers, Vaughn and Nakobe Dean, they'll run them over. And then you're playing so high, 2 safety. Look at the open space Josh Jacobs had. Josh Jacobs could go for 150 yards. Now, again, that's if they don't perform. We really haven't seen them, so we don't know. Vic wanted to play more. He wanted to get the guys more involved in exhibition football. They didn't want to do that. Okay? So you're lining it up on Friday, not knowing really if you can really stop that. So to sit here and go like this, no, they'll do it. You haven't seen it. And last year, they completely got ran over in the last 10 games of the year. Now, you're assuming because Vic's there. I agree with Vic. Schemes don't make great defenses. Great players make schemes great. He's so to the point true. You're out of your minds. Okay? Now look, again, do I believe that Carter and Davis will have a good game against the run against the Packers on Friday? I do. I think they'll be fresh. I don't think the Packers have better talent in the middle than those 2 dudes. So do I think they can win that battle? I do. But you can't be stalemated. Because here's the problem. You're going to want your linebackers to play a little off the ball. Why? Why would you want your linebackers like Devin White and Zach Bond to be able to play off the ball? You guys have an idea why? Why would you want to be able to play a little bit more off the ball? You want to try to cheat to be able to get some of these guys coming out of the backfield or tight ends coming across the middle of the field so you can cover them. If you start giving up 5 yards of carry, 4.5 yards of carry, those linebackers have to get moved up into traffic. And if they get moved up into traffic, that makes that zone from here to here, it makes it bigger, which means more space to operate. And if you're not getting pressure, Dude, they got a whole middle of the field. Well, they're going to complete pass after pass. Now, again, 20-20, okay? This is all about points against. This game has nothing to do with yardage. So if you see big numbers being put up, as long as that big number on the scoreboard's not being put up, don't sweat it, because that's what he's playing for. He's playing for you to run out of gas in a sequence of plays. Like Vic Fangio's counting on Jordan Love and that offense being in the early part of the season, not being able to sustain a 10-play drive without making a mistake. That's why Green Bay's got to establish the run. Green Bay's got to run the ball for play action to work for them. For them, what Matt LaFleur likes to do, this goes back to John Gruden offense, because John Gruden, again, and Jay Gruden, where he was on the staff in Washington, this is about spreading you out and trying to get as much space and trying to create more passing lanes for your quarterback. It's number one assessment on what you have to do and what you're going to play against a Matt LaFleur type offense. He wants to get you in space. Okay? He totally wants to get you in space. They're going to run multiple crossing routes. Be prepared for that. So communication is going to be an essential part of this. You're going to see a ton of crossing routes. LaFleur loves doing this. He did this to Dallas, and it destroyed Dallas. Ton of crossing routes. And with a lot of new faces back there and new coordinators back there, this is going to be on display. Okay? A lot of crossing routes. It's good. They're going to look like illegal picks. Tight end, they've now come up with a new gimmick. I see Green Bay do this all the time. Instead of using the referee as a pick guy, they use the tight end in the middle. He does a wheel route, and then they rush crossing routes. Okay? And that's actually a pick play, but they disguise the pick play by doing a wheel route in the middle with their tight end. I watched it last night. It's pretty ingenious. Back in the day, what you used to do is use the referee and the back judge, and you used to use him as a pick. That's what Bill Walsh used to do. He'd run Rice right in front of him, and the defender would have to make a different angle. And that's why Rice was so open. They would use the backcourt judge or the backfield judge, and they would use him as a pick. So it's smart. They'll do a wheel route, run crossing routes right around him. And again, if you're in zone, don't get crossed up there. You got to stick with your man. Are you going to, communication is going to be something to keep an eye on. Okay? They're going to keep, that's something to keep an eye on. I'm being told that Green Bay is going to run a shitload of stretch plays. Do you know what a stretch play does? They're going to try to tire those two dudes out in the middle. A stretch play will be this. Take a look at splits in the middle. If you're getting wide splits, you're running that stretch play. And you're going to run that thing and try to get it out wide because you don't believe Bryce Huff can set the edge. I think Josh Sweat can set the edge. I do not believe Bryce Huff can set the edge. So what I do is, if that Vic, I've got to get penetration with Milton Williams and with Jalen Carter to take those offensive linemen off their planes and to stop some of that. Because at the end of the day, if you get that stretch play going, you're going to tire Jordan Davis out, and you're going to try to tire him up by the third quarter, and that's where you're going to start to run the ball even more and start to play action. So they're going to try to run at the corners and going to see if you can set the edge. That's correct, Des. I think Josh Sweat is an enormous part of this football game on Friday, because if Green Bay can get out wide in that stretch play, that's just going to open up the internal A-B gap. And if you've got that A and B gap opened up and you're stretch running them, play action pass, my God, that middle of that zone is going to be something that you're going to have to really defend. And I don't think you have the linebackers to defend that. So what I'm telling you is, I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm saying this is what Green Bay is most likely going to do against a defense that, to me, if you identify the weaknesses, I think your weaknesses are, I don't believe you're going to pressure the passer. I don't believe you have the pass rushers to get to the quarterback. I think you have the run stoppers to stop the run. I do. I think you have that. I don't think you have the corner play because you don't play man. You play zone. It's a formula. You play 2 high safety and zone. I actually think about it. You're playing 25 yards. You're playing 20 yards off the ball. How are you not going to complete the passes? An NFL quarterback not complete passes in that. Any dummy can do that. You don't have to be the most gifted. You could be the pizza guy in New York doing that. Your corners are 10 yards off the ball. Your safeties are 20 from the line of scrimmage. How are you not completing passes? You've got to get pressure. If the team, if the Eagles don't get pressure Friday, they're going to put 38 plus up on you. They may end up anyway, and the Eagles may beat them 42-38. By the way, if the Eagles win 42-38, thank you, and I'll see you later. I'm not even going to question that. Because in a game like that, you got out of that game alive, 42-38. I don't give a shit. This is not college football. You don't have to look good in a win. You got to get the win. Nobody cares. This is not a beauty. You have to have a beauty contest in college football. You don't have to have a beauty contest in the NFL. Nobody's going to care. Okay? Nobody's going to care how you won as long as you win. The only idiots that care how you win are the Eagle front office people. And you know what? I would tell them to sit on it. You know what? Give me a break. Hey, Yale. Yeah, because you know what? Dallas's defense thought they would play that 2 high safety also with those corners and not press them, and they ate him up. He was completing passes in the zone all day long. That game was over in the second quarter. Shit, you could make an argument that that Green Bay game was over in the first 15 minutes of the ball game, first 13 minutes of the game. That Packer game was over. The Packer game was over. I mean, the thing was over. I think they have to start strong, too, defensively. Get a couple 3-and-outs. I think you got to get that Packer team off the field and make them think. Now, is Vic going to bring pressure? Here's the problem with this. The reason why Zach Bond and Nakobe Dean are starting, you know why? They were better blitzers than Devin White was. That was one of the essential things because he's got to manufacture pressure. He's got to manufacture it. I think there's going to be a lot of quick throws. Quick throws in this ball game. And the biggest impact is going to be turnovers. If the Packers turn the ball over, God, that would be enormous. And can I tell you, the 2 guys that have to be enormous, and who are your 2 guys that have to be enormous in this game? Let's see if you guys land on the 2 guys that I'm thinking that have to be essential in this game to have a win. What 2 guys? On the Eagle defense. Michael says Carter and Davis. Here's my guys. I think Gardner Johnson, Jordan Davis have to be huge. I'm going to ask Jordan Davis to do one thing in this game. Keep my linebackers free. Don't let them get up on them. Play the run. I need you to act like Ndamukong Suh, and I need you to stop the run. Let Carter get the glory. Let him get the glory. If you do that, you'll get your contract extension. Because the more you make that guy look good, the more the Eagles will be apt not to get rid of you because you're holding down the fort. The only way you become a great pass rusher is if you stop the run. Okay, and I'm not saying Jalen Carter can't stop the run. I'm saying you got another horse in there like that can stop the run. Dude, he can have 18 tackles or 25 tackles a year and 2 sacks, 3 sacks. If you're number 3 in rush defense, that's on him. He could be completely responsible for the rush defense this year. Do you know how hard it is for one player to totally dominate one facet of the game, pass defense? The reason why they get Patrick Surtain that $90-some-odd million is because they think he can control the secondary in Denver. That's why you do that. If you can control the run in today's NFL, where most quarterbacks want to get to play action, that's exactly what you're looking at here. Now for Gardner Johnson's got to make turnovers. What's the one thing last year that the Eagle defense, besides the lack of pressure, was deficient in? You know what it was? Turnovers, right? Turnovers, big plays on defense. No interceptions. They got to get turnovers. What was the number between Bradbury and Slay last year? What'd they have? Did Slay have 4 picks and Bradbury had 2? He had 6 picks between them? That's not going to cut it. They've got to get turnovers. Gardner Johnson has to make turnover plays. He's got to be a factor in that pass defense back there, because if Jordan Love is able to complete passes, and he's very capable, and so is that entire offense, very capable. See, they don't have a primary target. Okay? Is it, KCA is 6 reaching? It may be, you're right. They may have only, KCA, it may have only been 3 total. Okay? It may have only been 3 total. You might be right. That's right, too. Oh, my God. This is another thing. Last year, the Eagles were horrible in tackling. One of the worst-rated tackling defenses in pro football last year. You are so right. Let me tell you this, man. You come out of that ball game and you're not tackling well, you're going to get your ass handed to you, too. I see what you're saying, Sills. We need to have someone on our back end to be someone like Troy Polamalu, because he was able to identify the plays from the get-go. Need to stop the offense in their tracks. Absolutely, Abe. That's right. Okay? Mask goes like this. When we blow up, I'm not apologizing to anything. Pick your guy. You stick with him. I'll stick to my guns. Apologizing for what? A take? Whatever. The first 10 games, they were top 5 in tackling. Last 7, they were bottom 5. Man. And why were they bottom 5 in the last 7? Suplex. Because they went to Patricia. And what'd they do? Get this. Let me show you what a bad coach is compared to Fangio. So Patricia is a man cover corner guy. That's why Slay was traded from Detroit when he was up there. Because he doesn't believe in zone. Belichick doesn't believe in zone. They believe in man. Well, the Eagles don't have man-covered people. That's not the personnel they have. And with the lack of pressure, they put Patricia in there, completely destroyed the chances of Jalen Carter winning the Rookie of the Year award because of that change. Dude, he should have won it. I love Will Anderson. I think Will Anderson had a really great second half. But Carter was dominant. And then they turned him into a 2-technique tackle. You basically neutered him. Why? That guy was a force. Actually, Davis was too. Then they neutered him, put him in a 2-technique. That's the worst defensive technique. Man, I'll tell you this. I never played 2-technique. And when I got to the Bucs, I was a 1-technique guy. I ran 4.8s at 300 pounds. And I got up the field. I wasn't concerned about shit. I was a 1-technique guy. They put me in a 2-gap thing. I got to sit here and hold up the guard so the linebackers could make plays. And we had shitty linebackers. I'm like, this makes no sense. Now we have 2 people not making plays instead of 1. And you drafted me completely for the wrong system and the wrong technique. You put me in a 2-gap. I've never was a nose guard or a 2-gap technique tackle in my entire 8 years playing junior football, high school football, and college football. I never played 2-gap. I was never a 2-gap guy. I used my speed and my ability to get up the field and make plays. I led my team, the Canes, in tackles for loss, first hits on tackles. I had 100 tackles. I had 8 sacks. I completely killed everyone. Then you put me in a 2-gap? Give me a break. I didn't even know what the hell they were asking me to do. And that's exactly what they did to Carter last year. They put him in a 2-gap, and Jalen Carter wasn't playing 2-gap at Georgia. He was getting up the field and killing guys. It made no sense. And that was all on Matt Patricia. It was all on him. Put him in a bad scheme. Okay? Put him in a bad scheme. They're going to need turnovers in this game. Jalen's going to have to protect the ball. Tomorrow we'll do the Eagle offense versus the Packer defense. Okay? NFL Network is talking a lot about the linebacker battle right now. They should, because that's where Love is going to attack. Okay? They're going to attack the Eagle linebackers, and they should. Okay? And they should attack them. That's why, again, the 2 tackles in the middle, got to stop the run. I want those guys being able to play a little bit off the ball, man. Okay? Vic is going to use Jalen Carter correctly, says Pete. I think so. I agree. Pete, I think the one thing that I'll give Vic Fangio, and I'll give you an example when he talks about Quinyon Mitchell. I think he is going to use Jalen Carter correctly, because when he talks about Mitchell, he doesn't talk about Mitchell as being a starting corner. You know what he talks about him as? A playmaker in his secondary. Okay. Now, if Mitchell starts out there, I won't be surprised. But I saw a depth chart and I saw Keely Ringo. But I also think that Mitchell's going to be on the field the majority of the game. Why? Because Vic sees him as an asset on being able to play in the slot, nickel, and corner. You imagine this? You've never played those positions. Vic Fangio drops you in them, and he thinks it's seamless that you pick up the technique and it doesn't look too big for you. And he says that. You can't have a bigger compliment than that. You can't have a bigger compliment. And you're a rookie? He really likes the player. See, Vic tells you right away, he doesn't have to gush over you. All he does is when he talks about you, that's when he's gushing over you. Okay? Yeah, when I put him in the slot or put him in nickel, nothing's too big for him. You know, he's going to play. When he said that, he's going to play. He's going to play a lot. He's going to be out there. I was like this. What a compliment. And like I said to you last hour, here's a guy that got Patrick Surtain in the league and drafted him and saw him. And now he just signed a $90+ million contract, 77 guaranteed, 24 annually, highest paid corner in the league. That guy knows what he's talking about. It's the players going out and executing it now. Okay? All right? I mean, I did say that. I'd be okay with Teron Arnold. My chances of having success more with a guy from the Southeastern Conference versus Mid-America, I'll still take that. I don't have a problem saying that. Okay? I wanted Teron Arnold. Teron Arnold starting for the Lions. So I don't know what else to say to you. Okay? Devin White is playing so far off the ball. He's in Philly. Yeah. Hey, that's how far off the ball he is for this game on Friday night. By the way, I heard he has an injury. You know what his injury is? Hurt feelings. Well, I don't know. Hey, interesting in who didn't fly with the team. Hey, really? Really? Is that interesting? Lions had 0 corners and went to the NFC Championship game last year. Well, they upgraded. Why? Wait a minute. You had corners last year? Taylor goes like this. The Lions had 0 corners last year. Wait a minute. You did? I must have missed that 31st ranked defense. Hey, we need 6 more. 6 more for 300, man. Please, guys, hit that like button. Let me take a timeout. Hit the like button. Keep it here, National Football Show.
Michael Vick at BetUS.com. Catch an incredible 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS, my online sportsbook and casino.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.
He's blocked well and tries to cut through the middle. Oh!
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on Sports Grid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on Sports Grid.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
as long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
Heading down the shore. Have a ball once more.
Here, imaginations run wild and time stands still. Because here, you can find the best of the Jersey Shore, all on one 5-mile island. So leave the old you behind and get lost in the woods.
Wild, wild, wildwood day.
Plan your stay in the Wildwoods today.
Imagine for a moment that you went to work today and when you came home, you were catastrophically injured. Your life and your family's life. That's what happened to union construction worker Mike Little.
I was scared of what the end was going to be, but to be 100% honest with you, I knew I was going to be all right just by talking with Brian. In my heart, I just knew everything was going to be all right.
Call the firm and find out why they say, we got this. Call 215-458-2222.
Michael Vick at BetUS.com. Catch an incredible 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits, plus 10% gambler's insurance. BetUS, my online sportsbook and casino.
EAGLES. Eagles.
Big Sills. Big show. Please hit the like button. You guys did it again. Over 300 likes. I can't thank you enough. And by the way, 4 hours of the program powered by BetUS. We so appreciate all you guys with your likes and obviously Disciple with the super chat. All of you with the super chats today. If I'm my NFL player, I'm doing whatever I got to do to stay on the team. A lot of these players should come across trainers and be okay with that. Okay? If I'm an NFL player, I'm doing whatever I got to do to stay on this football team. A lot of these players should become cross trainers and be okay with that. Yeah, listen, let me tell you something, disciple. One of the things you got to do is you got to understand something. You got to be available and durable for you to have. Look at Nakobe Dean. Here's the thing about Dean. Let's just say this. What's the one thing stopping Nakobe Dean right now? You know what that is? Okay, you know what that is? His durability right out of the gate. How do you know if he can't be good? I don't know. He's not on the field enough. Absolutely. Taylor, what player in the world would be an attractive trade when a guy bitches and moans the way he does? Get this. Todd Bowles says it's a character issue with him. Sure looks it. Sure looks it. Okay, with Devin White. What a shame. Like, this guy was the 5th pick in the draft out of LSU. 5th pick in the draft. And you're telling me you can't stay in the league and you're only 26 years old and you were a captain on a Super Bowl championship team and you can't win a job? Jobs aren't handed to you, son. You got to go out and earn those things, man. Holy cow. Get this. And he's not in Brazil Friday. And he was counted on when they signed him to be an important part of this team. All right. Well, the NFL starts tomorrow. Baltimore and Kansas City. We'll talk about that game, obviously. And it'll be on the eve of Packers and Eagles. We're here. Rent's due. Rent is due, my friends. No more prognosticating or no more bitching about it. Hey, it's here. We're hours away now from football. I just can't wait. Thank you, guys. Please, you guys were sensational again, as always. Please hit the like button. We will catch every single one of you here tomorrow. We can't thank you guys enough for coming aboard, being here, and being loyal like you are. The super chats, the likes, conversation. I can't thank you enough. You guys are great. Joe Xander, thank you. 2 to 6 tomorrow, and we shall see you on the flip side.